I'm still into Lord. I'm not tapped out. I'm still into... Welcome to Sam Roberts Show here on Opie Radio, live as usual on a Friday. 866-WOW1-WOW is the phone number to call. You want to be in touch with the show, 866-969-1969. And a hell of a show it's going to be today. Again, I'm not Overlord. I still think she's got something going on. I mean, you know, is she Kate Upton? No, but she's Lord. She's something different. I'm getting word now, Lord. See, that's what I was wondering. I think Lord is like just now of age. She's only 18 years old. What I usually tell myself to make myself feel better in situations like that is, oh, she's going to crash hard. Like, because I think, what was I doing when I was 18? Jerking off and watching wrestling. That was it. Not displaying any talent whatsoever. And she's, you know, convulsing in pantsuits and making hit after hit. I don't understand it. She only turned 18 in November. But I tell myself, well, eventually, 5 years from now, we'll see how she's doing. Of course, she'll probably be doing fabulously. I'm not over Lord. I am over the intro to this show, though. I was listening to it. It sounds terrible. It's like, first of all, we don't even call it the Friday show anymore. We just call it Sam Roberts Show. And second of all, it's just irritating. It sounds so much like it's trying to be now and today and relevant. So we've got tweets on the show. I don't think I've ever read one tweet on this show. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just wrote something that I thought, bosses would want to hear, like, oh, we need more relevance on Sirius XM. He's got tweets on his show? You're telling me there's a kid here who's reading tweets on the radio? Yeah, we got to do this. We got to I got to change that at some point.
And it also says Sam Roberts Friday Show.
Yeah, we don't even call it that.
No.
It's just Sam Roberts Show. Simplified it. Justin Timberlake told me that in the Facebook movie. He said, just make it Sam Roberts Show. It's cleaner. I was like, wow. I told you, Eduardo.
Was that a deleted scene?
Did that not make the final cut?
I didn't see that.
It was in it. It was the same restaurant as the other thing. And somebody check the phones to make sure they're working, because they're not ringing over here. I don't see anything. What'd you say? He says they're good. Okay. Well, what I was gonna talk about in terms of being new and relevant and all that, people are trying so hard. By the way, it's going to be a great show today. Roman Reigns is going to be on the show. He's a WWE superstar. It's Royal Rumble weekend, so that's going to be big. And our friend, Katie Linendoll, is stopping by here today. She's the tech guru. She's been on Today's Show and CNN and all these places. She's been on our show a whole bunch of times. So Katie Linendoll will be here in a little bit, as will Nicole Ryan. I have no idea where DJ Who Kid is, but Nicole Ryan will be here in a little bit as well. In terms of trying to be relevant, because I'm sure what I was thinking when I wrote that intro was, this will impress somebody. This will make it seem like, okay, this is next generation shit. This is like, okay, they read tweets on the radio. This is really something special, right? When in actuality, that's all anybody ever says. Well, we're thinking, I read a description this morning when I was doing Opie's show of the radio show that Len Berman and Tom Schnitt, one of the Schnitts that we've made fun of on the Opie show before. Those two are getting together to do a radio show. And, they're old men at this point, and that's fine. I'm sure there's an audience for that. But the description that is under the show is, well, they're going to be given this New York perspective. So immediately it's a program director looking for local. And they're going to be touching on everything that's relevant in pop culture. And it's like anything that says pop culture or relevant or tweet or trending topic or any of that stuff, it's just buzzwords that now people have found, and those are lazy buzzwords. I find myself using them constantly to describe what it is I, quote, want to do, because you can't just say, well, I just want to go on the radio and try to entertain people, and my name's Sam, so I thought that would be enough. You know what I mean? You have to try to act like you're doing something really sort of breaking ground. It says, Len Berman and Todd Schnitt will focus on New York and feature interactive programming. That's another one. And I think it says that in the intro, interactive. What does that mean? Ever since radio was invented, people have been calling in. That's interactive. Like, we've got telephone calls on this show, ladies and gentlemen. It's interactive. And it's showcasing what local listeners are talking about in the news, sports, entertainment, and pop culture. So it's just, we got Len Berman and Todd Schnitt, and they're going to talk about whatever it is they want to talk about, which I don't have a problem with. I think that's fine. But I can't pitch myself that way. So I try to do, buzzwords like this and talk about how relevant and trending I am. But that's because people that are in positions of power, whether you're talking about the media and what's happening with cable TV or technology or any company really, I feel like everybody's having trouble trying to figure out how to communicate in the new world. Everybody wants that young audience, right? And nobody can figure out how to talk to them because they're all older people at this point. So Obama is trying to figure out, okay, how do I talk to the younger people? I'm sure every politician, I think, was inspired by Bill Clinton going on MTV. Bill Clinton went on MTV and he said he wears briefs and not boxers or something like that. And everybody thought, look at him. He's playing the saxophone. He's on MTV. This man is today's president, right? So nobody watches MTV really anymore. It's just a whole bunch of like dating game shows. So I guess they're trying to figure out, okay, where do we go from here? And Obama decided, in the Obama administration, I don't think it was just him sitting there in his White House bedroom going, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do some interviews on the YouTube. I'm sure somebody came to him and said, this is what we got to do, Barry. This is the next step. We got to do these YouTube interviews, and these YouTubers are the biggest celebrities there are right now. And he's going, okay, you really think so? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And look, the YouTubers do get a lot of people watching them and talking to them and all that. Listen, I turned it on. And I did turn it on, as I do most things, with that patented Sam Roberts skeptical eye. Everybody knows about this by now. I have two eyes. One of them is skeptical. Always. So I turned on this thing. I'm very skeptical. And at first, I was okay with it. I don't know who all the YouTube celebrities are. I know some of them, but I don't know who all of them are. I didn't know this guy. His name's Hank Green. I looked him up. He's one of the Vlog brothers. And Obama sat down with three YouTubers, one after the other, over the course of about 45 minutes, and they all built sets to kind of look like the bedroom out of where they YouTube out of. Because this is the new thing now. This is how people do shows. Like, nobody's trying to do a radio show anymore. Half of the people aren't even think TV is outdated. Now, if you're young and creative, you put a camera in your room, and you come up with some shit, and you say it, and you upload it. And as long as you do it frequently enough and you get on board early enough, if you do anything that's somewhat different and you do it like, 3 days a week, every week for a year, you got it. You're on to something. Because a lot of it is not like earth-shatteringly great stuff. But Hank Green is one of these guys. He's one of the Vlog brothers, and he's the first guy that Obama sat down with. And I listened to this clip, and I thought maybe this is going to be okay.
This is a picture of me holding a receipt from my pharmacy. I have a chronic condition.
That's a very fetching picture.
Well, thank you. And
see, Obama was smart too, because he's like, all these YouTube people, they've never interviewed anybody. They're shut-ins that became celebrities. So Obama gets to sit down and just alpha dog every single one of them. You think Chuck Todd from MSNBC is going to blush when Obama says that's a fetching picture? He's going to be like, fuck you, Obama. I'm Chuck Todd from MSNBC. That's not going to fly with me. But if he does it to a YouTuber, it's like, okay, we can get away with this. I don't see anything on the phone screen. 540. You're live on Sam Roberts Show. You there? Okay. Obviously, somebody's got to fix the phones. So he sat down with this guy, Hank Green, and this is how the conversation went.
And it's expensive to manage, but before I had insurance, I could not take this medication. It's about $1,100 a month, and that is a receipt showing it being $5 a month. So Obamacare has worked for me.
Obamacare has worked,
so,
and
thanks for
that makes me feel good. Hank, your story is the story of so many people around the country. You've been managing a chronic disease, so you, I think, are probably more attuned to.
So it was obviously a suck-ass question, but I kind of felt okay with it. And I realized that the reason that I felt okay with it was because this was just, first of all, his set had books. So it was like a nerdy-looking white guy in a bedroom that looked like it had a big bookshelf with books that you could, learn from. And so I said, oh, well, this guy must know what he's talking about. So when he shows Obama a picture and says, thanks for the health care, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense to me. All right, I'm going to check and see if the phones work now. Line 1, you on the air. Can I hear you?
Yes, you can.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
It's Jared in Grand Rapids.
Well, Jared, lucky you. Everybody, the phones are working now, so feel free to call up. 866-WOW1-WOW, 866-969-1969.
Well, I just wanted to call and complain that New York City is the worst fucking place in the world.
Jared, we're trying to talk about Obama and the YouTubers right now.
Okay. Well, thanks, Obama, for making New York City the worst city in the world.
Well, you should have a YouTube channel, and then maybe you could tell him yourself. But unfortunately, Jared, you did not have a YouTube channel. Therefore, we're going to leave that to Hank Green, who's going to thank him for health care, because he's got a chronic condition.
He can thank him for health care, but I don't want to thank the city of New York for making me drive all the way out here from Grand Rapids, only to be told that...
Let me ask you, Jared. We talked to you last week. I remember your story. You went to jail. Jared is really you're one of those callers that splits people right down the middle. A lot of people not happy with you. As a matter of fact, Nicole Ryan tweeted something out that she did not like you. Jared, am on your side. But let me ask you something. Is it New York's fault that you're stuck here, or is it your fault for trying to carry a firearm through an airport?
It's New York's fault for not telling me that they're waiting 6 to 8 weeks on the feds for some paperwork and made me drive all the way here for nothing. Now I got to come back in 2 months.
Why didn't you just shoot them?
Because I don't have a gun anymore.
Well, see what happens, Jared?
Blasio came and took my gun.
Okay, well, listen. You probably did the right thing because you were in an airport, but call me back in 6 to 8 weeks and we'll talk about it. In the meantime, just save it up. Just save up all that pent-up energy. So Hank Green, I guess I didn't have a problem with because he seemed smart to me. He had glasses, he had books. But then you look down, and the people that they have Obama lined up to talk to are like this chick Bethany. And this is an example of one of Bethany's YouTube videos.
My eyebrows look extremely uneven in this video. Let's not talk about it. Hey guys, what are you doing in my room? Get out. I'm home and I'm never home. So
See, this is the art of the YouTube video star. That you talk like a Disney Channel TV actor. Like, hey guys, what are you doing? And you're smiling the whole time and you're way too high energy about any of this. And then you just go on and you're like, hey, here's a quick way to make some snacks for a party. Hey, did you ever try to do this with your makeup? And then, I guess girls, I don't know, or teenagers, they just watch it in the millions and millions, because I'm not hating on any of these people. They have millions and millions of watchers. I don't understand it, but this is the difference. So, like, when Bill Clinton went on MTV and did this sort of thing where, okay, the youth are now going to get to meet the president, he did it in such a way where MTV had news people. Like, MTV always had that, Travis, what was the guy's name with the gap tooth on MTV News that was there for years?
Who, Kurt Loder?
No, not Kurt Loder. He had the gap tooth. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
I don't remember his name.
But he was there forever, like until the news department went out. They had Kurt Loder and they had this guy.
Chris Connolly?
No, it was something Norris, I think.
Oh, Fred Norris.
Norris. No, that's the guy from Stern?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Fred Norris. It was that guy on the end, Adrian, the first guy, not Sway, he works here. John Norris.
He would always color his hair. He was way too old to be coloring his hair.
Way too old. But they had guys like Kurt Loder and John Norris. And Sway, I guess, but not Sway as much.
Tabitha Soren.
Yeah, and Tabitha Soren. And all these people that were like legit news anchory type people that just happened to be on MTV. And Suchin Pak.
And Allison Williams.
And Allison Williams, who's now on MSNBC. Is that right? She's still there?
She was on something, yeah.
Yeah, she's still. But these are like legit news people. It's like, okay, I trust these people's opinions. Now, and I just got a text from somebody listening. John Norris! It was John Norris. I remember his teeth. Because you'd watch at like 13, 14 years old going, who let this guy on MTV? Like, what's he doing on this channel? Top of the hour, every hour, I got it. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Like it wasn't weird when I was growing up,
right?
Like when it was still the 90s.
Yeah.
But then, like 10 years ago, it started to be a little weird.
Well, it was like
all right, you're like as old as my dad.
Yeah, and a whole new generation had come in. So instead of it being John Norris and the crew, it was the crew, and then for some reason John Norris is still here.
Like, oh, okay.
And he still didn't get his teeth fixed.
This 50-year-old is giving me the news.
Yeah. Now it just feels like news. Like it doesn't feel like MTV News anymore. It might as well be Chris Matthews.
Yeah, wait, I was watching MTV. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? John Norris took over again. My dad remembers when we watched John Norris. So, but they had news people that would come on so you could still have a legit discussion or whatever. With the YouTube people, they're just YouTube people. Just because kids watch them doesn't mean that they should be getting involved in the political world. Like, listen, There are tons of people who listen to Sam Roberts Show, right? There's a whole audience of people, and they listen to Sam Roberts Show. Jared in Grand Rapids is one of them. Well, I think Obama should be on this show just as much as he should be talking to any of the YouTube people. I mean, I guess YouTubers, I guess I don't get 5 million hits because radio shows don't get hits, but we got a lot of people listening. Why not have me instead of this hot chick who talks about her eyebrows interview Obama? Like, I have something. She has eyebrows.
My eyebrows look extremely uneven in this video. Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Hey guys, what are you doing in my room? Get out. I'm home and I'm never home, so it's really exciting.
It just goes on and that's it. That's the science behind the YouTube celebrity. One of the biggest celebrities, and this is the one that I really knew, is Glozell. Everybody knows Glozell. She's a big black woman. She wears a curly wig. She's got big lipstick on, and well, this is a clip of what Glozell sounds like.
Hello, this is Glozell. Is you okay? Is you good? Because I want to know. Okay, so I was at a store and
you don't even have to. It's not even good. You don't have to figure out something clever to say. You don't have to figure out like character. You don't have to go into the character at all. It's just something where I'll do a funny face. Hey, this is me, Sam Roberts. This is my show. I like computers. And just say random things. And I feel like automatically I could be a big YouTube guy, right? Right?
is you okay? Is you good? Because I want to know. Okay, so I was at a store and saw some candy. Pop Rocks. I haven't had Pop Rocks in forever. We went through the things.
So they're going, okay, well, Glozell has like a lot of young people watching her. The young people care about what Glozell has to say. Somebody's got to go, Glozell is not a person, right? That's just a character. Somebody's just playing a character named, they just called it Glozell. It's not an actual human being. No. She's got a YouTube channel. It's Glozell. I think Obama, it'd be great. Barry, I think it'd be great if you sat down with Glozell for about 12 minutes and you got to the bottom of things. He goes, you really think? Yeah, I really do. And then he did it. Glozell was the third person to talk to the president. And I understand getting young people to talk to the president, but there are people, right, who have been actually paying attention in social studies class, right? Like 15-year-olds who actually go to school and listen to what the teacher says. And they've been busting their ass, and they do very well on their SATs. And they go to college, and they take all kinds of government classes and all this stuff, and they become experts. And they're, 21 years old. And instead of finding, like, the geniuses, the young geniuses in the country, it's like, well, Glozell has way more hits than that young genius. So, yeah, I think, but the genius might actually be able to talk about something relevant that is a real political issue that affects young people. Yeah, but did you see Glozell's green lipstick? That's what's got people talking. So this was Glozell's Obama interaction.
Okay, my mama said whenever you go to somebody's house, you have to give them something.
Oh,
Don't come empty-handed.
Right.
So,
Glozell wasn't even in character. She had the wig on. She had the lipstick on. But this is what I mean about finding these YouTubers and how it's a great move for the president, because the YouTubers are all intimidated by the president. She didn't even have the balls to do the character that brought her to the dance. Look, is it absurd that Glozell is interviewing Obama? Of course it is. But that's what brought you to the dance. So you better take this one home, because otherwise you're just a lady who plays a character. We don't look. We're on YouTube. Who wants Glozell out of character? And all the news columns about Glozell, because none of them knew who she was, except for one video that just went everywhere today, and it was President Obama got interviewed by a woman who eats cereal out of the bathtub, because they found a Glozell video where she was like snacking on Cheerios in the tub.
okay, my mama said whenever you go to somebody's house, you have to give them something.
Oh,
Don't come
okay.
empty-handed.
All right.
So, I have green lipsticks. One for
Yes.
your first wife.
My first?
I mean,
Do you know something I don't?
for the
One
first
for the
lady,
first lady.
and the first children.
And the first. Oh, I'm teasing.
All right, I'm just gonna put these. I'll keep these
Okay.
here.
Let me just take a look at these, though.
It's
They are
great.
very, yeah. I mean, it is impressive stuff. I'm gonna see how it looks. I'm gonna ask Michelle to try it on maybe tonight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
It's like, have a little pride in yourself, right? YouTube is like you're one of the new broadcasters. The eyes are on you. So get in there and alpha dog that president. Let him know, I'm going to be the one controlling this interview. Don't drop your character, and then the minute you bite your tongue, be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Where's my bathtub and my cereal? I'm much more comfortable that way. Lee in Virginia.
Sam, I don't know, man. It sounds like a lot of sour grapes. Like you're a little jealous that these idiots got to interview our dumb president, and you're not.
Let me tell you something. First of all, Lee, I am not jealous. But second of all, Obama is invited to do Sam Roberts' show. I don't understand why he wouldn't want to. If Glozell can get some stuff out of him, I feel like I could. Can't I?
What do you think you would get?
I don't know. I'd ask him about, did you ever sleep with Hillary Clinton? That's a good question.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd do a little more prep than that then. Larry in Michigan.
Well, good afternoon, Sam Roberts, you quintessential professional broadcaster, you.
That's right.
And I do believe the president would be intimidated to actually sit down with a true professional broadcaster for an interview.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. If President Obama were in here, I would not let him walk over me like a welcome mat, okay? I would not. If I slipped on the tongue, I would own it, okay? What happened when what's-his-name from America's Most Wanted came in this studio? I called him his dead son's name and just let it be. That's what it is. That's what we're doing today, okay? Welcome to my house. That's where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sam, you recovered from that.
I did.
You grew from that.
I did.
You did not let it faze you. You didn't blow the interview because you are a professional broadcaster.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Now, isn't all this... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now, isn't all of this nonsense by the president really beneath the dignity of the office?
I mean normally, like I get what you're saying, and a lot of people say that about like the new stuff that President Obama does. I don't think, for instance, when President Obama did Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, because it was a viral video, I don't think that was a bad thing. I don't think that was beneath the president. I think that's like, okay, whereas in 95 you would do The Tonight Show, in 2014 you do something like Between Two Ferns, and I think that's fine because it's entertainment. It's not supposed to be anything. But when you're talking about, okay, we're going to bring young people and give them the chance to interview this dude, like, we got 45 minutes here. Let's take the opportunity to do something that actually counts, as opposed to just being like, let's see if we can get Glozell to bite her tongue.
Well, I think it's the Democrat Party. They are very quick to embrace popular culture. I can remember at one of the nominating conventions, they were doing the Macarena.
Well, Macarena, that's just a good dance. That's a good dance.
Well, come on, really?
Well, when you're celebrating something.
Well, but it's the embracing of popular culture by a segment of the political class that the other political class does not do. And I think the approval is which side you adhere to. I mean, I don't
have a problem. I don't have a problem with embracing popular culture, and I don't have a problem with doing the Macarena and stuff like that. I have more of a problem with, like, okay, we're going to do some interviews now. Like, this is billed as, okay, we're going to have the opportunity to get to the bottom of some stuff. And this is a blown opportunity, although probably a smart one for Obama. I just think this is an example of people trying to get their hands on exactly what it is that young people are watching and trying to get into the minds of young people without actually having any firm grasp on it. Because what would have gone viral is not just Obama sitting down with Glozell. What would really make waves is, okay, you get this YouTuber who actually knows what they're talking about, who we don't really know, and ask Obama some controversial shit. Get him to say something that we haven't heard before, not just like, oh, I can't believe I accidentally called your wife your first wife. Here's some green lipstick. I feel so embarrassed.
Well, I understand, but in interviews of substance, with all the threats facing our country today, a resurgent new Soviet Union, although they call themselves a Russian Republic, and the march of Islamic fundamentalism that hasn't been seen, the scope of it hasn't been seen since the Middle Ages. I think we have more things for the president to do than go on with a bunch of YouTubers and talk to a lady who eats cereal out of her bathtub.
But Larry, all work and no play makes Barack Obama a dull boy, so you got to give him that. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I'll talk.
Sam Roberts.
I'll talk to you later.
You the man.
You the man, Larry. Let's go to Bill in Wisconsin. What's up, Bill? Welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Hey, Sam, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and get your producers to get working on getting Obama for you to talk to before he leaves office?
Adrian, have you made one? We've been talking about this for what? 20 minutes. Have you made one call to the White House?
No, I'll get the number. I'll talk to Roland.
What are you doing?
My bad. It's on me. So.
I hope Roland is down in that office calling the White House.
Yeah,
at least
Roland,
the press
get at
secretary.
her and then you get...
And if he says no, I'm not just doing some weekly satellite radio show, tell him, well, you did. This is what I want you to say, Adrian. Say
shitty YouTube video.
Don't say shitty.
Okay.
Because you got to be diplomatic. You're representing me. Say, you did those YouTubes. Say it like that, and just be sympathetic about it. If he goes, look, the president doesn't have time to just do some satellite radio show. You just go like this. Well, you did those YouTubes.
Yeah.
And that's yes. Try it.
But you did those YouTubes.
That's really good.
You can do
I
Sam
think
Show too?
I think we're gonna. Yeah. That's it. You can do Sam Show too.
Just send an email to president@whitehouse.gov.
Done.
Okay. Thank you, Travis. I'm glad somebody is on the ball.
I'm on it.
I'm sure you've already sent several emails. Obama, didn't hear back on my first email. Let's go to Jesse in California. Jesse, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Hey, Sam Roberts. Couple points real quick, buddy.
Yes, please.
I do believe that President Obama was the first president to ever do late-night TV.
That can't be true. I think Bush was on Leno and...
I don't think so. I remember when Bill Clinton did Arsenio, that was while he was running for president. It wasn't
I guess
while
that's
he
true.
was during his presidency.
I guess that's true.
Remember Obama did the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and remember that's when he was making fun of the Special Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's the thing. When you take these presidents, because that's what you want. If you really want to make waves and get people talking, you have to put the president in a situation that is not controlled. But when you put the president in a situation that's not controlled, he's not in a position where you can humanize him. So maybe it's just better we just keep him on a pedestal and keep him tucked away. Wow. Travis, you do work fast. I just saw Adrian's writing an email. And it's to president@whitehouse.com. I believe it's .gov. But it says in big letters, you did those YouTubes, ... where you do Sam's show, and then a picture of a little Asian baby crying. That should do the trick. But before you send it, Travis may have beat you to it, because on the phone right now, calling from Washington, D.C. is Obama. Obama, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Welcome, Sam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. I mean, I can tell it's you because of your voice.
I understand. I might sound a little funny. I'm up on Air Force One right now.
Oh, I see.
That you wanted to speak to me, so I cleared my schedule, and here I am.
Well, I do want to speak to you, but I was actually more hoping for an in-studio, if we could work that out.
Well, Sam, we've taken a look at your background and your history. I don't think I'll be sitting anywhere near you.
All right. Well, now, what if I do a YouTube video where I teach you how to fix your eyebrows?
Sam, I do like the YouTubes.
I know you do.
Fine. So you can go ahead and set up that appointment with my staff.
Can I tell you something? This is what you got right about Obama. You have the charisma of Barack Obama down pat. Thank you, Mr. Obama. I appreciate the phone call.
No problem. I'll check back in with you next week, sir.
No, I appreciate that very much. Yeah. And by the way, if I did a YouTube video about how to fix eyebrows, that would be a long-ass YouTube video. Ross in California. Look at these things. Ross.
Sammy. I think DJ Who Kid might have a better shot to get Obama on the phone than you would.
Is this a joke about ethnicity, or is it because Who Kid is a very well-traveled individual?
I think that Obama would be intimidated by your hair, and he would relate better to Who Kid.
Well, Who Kid would ask him about the bitches. See, that's what I'm talking about. Nobody has asked Obama about the bitches. If I had Who Kid in here with me and he said, but Barack, what about the bitches? That would make headlines everywhere. I feel like that is the coverage that the president wants. But there was something I didn't get to last week. And by the way, as I said, we will have Katie Linendoll in studio today. Roman Reigns from WWE is going to be on the show. It's going to be a major, major show with so much to get to. But there was stuff I wanted to get to last week. And this ties right into sort of the news and viral video and people are talking about it versus it's wait a minute. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. I just got a text from Justin Stengel, one of the head writers of the legendary David Letterman show. This is a guy who knows what's going on. He was also the executive producer of that show. He just said in a text, I'm not totally sure that was my Obama.
Incorrect.
Well, Justin Stengel, unless your Obama is some other dude, my Obama is the president. And I believe that is the man that was on the phone just now. Adrian?
Fact.
Fact. Hashtag fact. Now, the line between what is newsworthy versus what is just people are talking about it has become completely blurred. And that's part of people, I think, not understanding the new technology and how to operate it and stuff. Nancy Grace is a great example of this. Nancy Grace, has this headline news show, and we've talked about her a ton. And she has these people on, and she is hashtagging stuff about dead kids every other week, and she's trying to get something trending. It doesn't matter what it costs. It doesn't matter if there's integrity to it. None of it matters as long as it's trending. And then she says, well, I had this national Twitter trend, so... And you go, but that has nothing to do with legitimate news. That's not actually informing the public. You're not performing a public service by getting something trending. I mean, it's easy to get people talking. You can just say something inflammatory and get people to talk about it. That doesn't make it news. You can get people all worked up and scared. The Fox News alert goes off. It used to just be like, okay, 9/11 happened, and the Fox breaking news alert went off. This is important. We all have to look at this. That thing goes off every 20 minutes now. It's like, how could anything be that urgent? Nancy Grace is a big proponent of not. I think you can be a proponent for something not happening. A big proponent of not. Adrian is nodding his head. Yes, of course you can. And Adrian, you went to college, right?
Yes.
Okay, well then I'll take your word for it.
Finish though.
Huh?
I didn't finish.
Did you get any grammar classes?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're good.
I was an English major.
Okay, perfect. You didn't finish it?
No.
Did you get more than halfway through?
Yes.
Okay, so good. So you can inform me then. Nancy Grace is very against the legalization of marijuana. She doesn't like it. She thinks it has no place. She thinks it's ruining a lot of families, and it is a very dangerous thing. Now, does she actually think this? I would guess absolutely not. But she goes like, oh, but people will talk about it, and then I can still have my TV show because the ratings will go up because people will hate me. I don't know what the personality type is. I understand the idea that as long as people are talking, it's a good thing. But if nobody is ever saying anything good about you, how can you go to sleep at night going, yeah, but you know what? At least they're talking. I've done my job. I mean, you've made everybody hate you. Matt in Winchester.
Hey, Obama wasn't the first. You had Bush, the original Bush,
yes,
on Saturday Night Live.
What kind of phone are you using, Matt?
Office phone.
I wish everybody would call from an office phone. This is what radio used to sound like. This is the best quality phone call I've had in months, because you're calling from a landline office phone. You sound great. So go on.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll say Bush did Saturday Night Live, and if you want to go back even further, my dad remembers Nixon doing Road to Martin, the Sock It To Me.
Yeah, it's always been, and thanks, Matt, you're right. I thought that was true. It's always been a thing where presidents try to embrace pop culture, at least somewhat, so that people under the age of 50 consider them relevant.
Obama was the first to do a late night talk show.
That's almost being like nitpicky about stuff.
Yeah, you're like,
like just there's 3 late night talk shows. Like he was just the first to do one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He was the first sitting president.
I guess it's a big deal because those shows are not scripted, whereas SNL and shows like that are.
Yeah, but I mean, the Tonight Show's basically scripted, right?
Yeah, all those shows are scripted.
You know what questions you're going to get.
100%.
Yeah.
Can you imagine any sitting president, any of them, ever sitting down for an interview where they didn't know exactly what questions were going to be asked of them? You would be eliminated on the spot if you sprung one on any president. Let me go to Mason, in Atlanta. Mason, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Sammy, what's up, man?
Not too much, pal.
So we have a little bit of first-hand experience with Nancy Grace here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
She's a local, and when we're not seeing her picking up trash bags at McDonald's in the morning at the local drive-thru.
Does she really do that?
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Grace is the type of person who in 2015 is still regularly getting McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, sure. And, like, I saw her in the drive-thru window. She had 2 trash bags of McDonald's going in on whoever was behind the counter. But I was working on one of my good girlfriends works at the pediatric clinic where she takes her twins, who she talks about all the time, her boys.
Mm-hmm.
And she is an absolute shrew from the second she walks in the door till the second they get her to leave.
You would think that somebody who is that sort of inflammatory on television would at least make an effort to be cool sometimes in their life, but she is just so into, I'm Nancy Grace. There's nothing you can't say to me. You mean there's nothing I can say to you? Listen to me. You listen to me. Don't pin me in a corner here, Buster.
Well, and she kind of, she likes to tout Mercer University School a lot, and all my buddies that went to grad school down in Mercer know that they almost want to give all that money she donates back because she gives it such a bad name. She drops it all so hard, but I'm still at work, buddy. Got to cut you loose. Thanks
all right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, so she's trying. The network she's on is called Headline News, but there's nothing news about it. It's just like, what can we do to sensationalize things to get people talking? And she decided, and this was last week, I meant to cover it last week and I just didn't get to it with everything that was going on. She decided to have 2 Chainz, the rapper 2 Chainz, on her show because she thought he'd be a great person to debate marijuana with, the legalization of weed. Just listen, I knew I was in for a treat when I heard how she announced this guy.
A superstar in his own right. No.
How could she say a superstar in his own right more condescendingly? Like, she wasn't even being condescending, and she sounded like, ugh. She was calling him a superstar, and it was still kind of like, what's your problem? What is your problem?
A superstar in his own right, known as 2 Chainz, also Tahid Epps, also Titty Boy with us from.
Why did she have? Why did she have to add that in? She wanted to say that word on television. There's no doubt in my mind. Nobody's called him that in many, many years. People don't even know that's his name. She just wanted, she's like, well, it's relevant to the news, so I'm going to go ahead and say what his name is, because my viewers are going to want to know what's his name.
A superstar in his own right, known as 2 Chainz, also Tahid Epps, also Titty Boy with us from my old stuff.
No, if I was creative enough to think of the name Titty Boy for myself, I would never change it. I don't know what 2 Chainz was thinking when he was like, you know what? I've been Titty Boy for long enough. Well, I'm not going to let you forget that, Titty Boy. Okay, Titty Boy? And where I come from, in the ATL, okay, Titty Boys look different from you. I don't know what you mean by Titty Boy when you say that, but I don't like it.
Doesn't he have other nicknames?
You mean the Hair Weave Killer?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, she obviously wanted to say it.
AKA the Hair Weave Killer.
She probably saw that on a sheet and she was like, so we can say Titty Boy?
Yeah. Can I say Titty Boy? Can I at least say Titty? She's just like, I really think if I can get titty on the air, I can make people will say something. Nancy Grace saying titty is headline news. And this channel is called Headline News, you damn assholes.
Because there's no other reason to say what somebody is also known. Like, if Snoop Dogg was on, she wouldn't say also known as Snoop Doggy Dogg.
This is Snoop Dogg, also known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, also known as Snoop Lion, also Calvin Brodus, and I heard your friends call you Pussy Master. Is that right?
Titty Dog.
Titty Doggy. Snoop Doggy Titty Dog. Nancy, you're really abusing the privilege. It's these rappers and their obscene names. Nancy, are you sure? Yes. He asked me to call him Titty Boy. Titty Boy.
Stomping grounds, College Park, Georgia, now one of the most famous rap stars in the world. You know, 2 Chainz, first of all, thank you for being with us.
And thank you for allowing me the privilege of saying Titty Boy on my TV show. I've been looking for a reason for all these years. You know, I keep having these dads come in, and they've got dead kids. I can't say titties around them. Their kids are dead. I'm supposed to be sympathetic. Finally, I got somebody in here that I can point out that their name's Titty Boy. Let me go to Bruce in Louisiana. What's up, Bruce?
Yes, I think Nancy Grace wasn't so much worried about saying titty as being able to call him boy.
Yeah, she was like, So I can call him boy and he's not going to get upset. Is that right? And say the word titty. I can get titty on my show and call this Afro-American boy and I'm not going to get in trouble? Nancy, what's that? We don't say Afro-Americans anymore. Nobody says Afro-American. Well, I'm being PC. He's an Afro-American and his name's Titty Boy. Get that boy on my show. You can't say it like that, Nancy. No. Let's go to Bishop in Chicago. Bishop, welcome to Sam Roberts Show, a.k.a. Titty Boy Sam Roberts.
I was just going to ask you, if you were going to be on the Nancy Grace Show, I mean, how many names would she have for you? Because I know you have several aliases.
I would ask her to say hello to me the way Larry usually does when he calls. I would want her to say, we're here in the studio with Hollywood primetime Sammy Sweetheart, the effing Roberts, professional broadcaster, titty squeezer.
I do have to say,
Nancy, they call me titty squeezer.
I got to say, your Nancy Grace impression has charisma like the Obama guy.
That's right. That's what she sounds like when she's talking about titties. Thank you, buddy. Let me go to Jeff in Philly. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Sammy. I love this show, man. Where's what's her name?
Nicole's going to be here in a few minutes. Actually, I just got a touch from her. She'll be here. And who gets somewhere in like China or something? I don't know where he is.
Oh, word. Oh, I just want to let you know that Nancy Grace just did a one-on-one interview with Deez.
Deez who? I don't know. Deez
Nuts!
Oh! A.K.A. Deez Nuts. Now, Sam, do they really call you Deez Nuts? Yes, they do, Miss Grace. Yes, they do. So she got into this with 2 Chainz, and 2 Chainz tried to educate her on what was going on with the pot smokers.
Why do you advocate legalization of pot when you hear stories like what I'm talking about?
Well, from the stories that I just heard you talk about, they were...
And, of course, she, right before he got on, played a story of, like, these horrible parents that are just on weed or not on weed. Just terrible parents neglecting their kid and blah, blah, blah. And then the minute they catch them smoking a blunt, it's like, well, the weed must have done it, don't you think, titty boy?
They had alcohol included, which we all know, cause you to black out, forget things, and have memory loss. They also dealt with irresponsible people. I don't think that you could put an umbrella on the whole community off these few incidents that you just named.
Well, what community is that? The potheads?
The smokers, the stoners community.
I love when hip-hop dudes, like, use the word community. Because community used to mean this, like, it's like a social movement. The civil rights struggle was all about the community. Like, we're bringing the community together. Like, last week, when we introed the show with Public Enemy, like, that song was for the fucking community. That was the community rising up. And Titty Boy is all like, the stoner community, the pothead community. You mean the stoners? Yes, Nancy Grace, that's what I mean. Stop shouting. Close your mouth a little bit when you talk. A little bit. Nancy Grace realized she had gold, though, with Titty Boy on the show. That's what we could call him, Titty Boy. I mean, that's what Nancy Grace called him. She realized that she had gold with him. And this is what a dog shit interviewer Nancy Grace is, too. You want to talk about those YouTubers. Nancy Grace is much worse than any of them are. Because while she had 2 Chainz on, she just, midstream of consciousness, drops anything she's talking about or thinking about to move on to just learning more about Titty Boy. Listen to this.
I don't get it. I mean, I've seen video of you smoking a big fat doobie. I mean, I've read your...
I know you're all into them doobie smacks that the kids like. The Weed-O-Matic doobie smack marijuana cigarettes.
Lyrics. I know what you say in your songs, but when you hear stories like the mom and the dad on the front porch, the baby dies in a fire... And while I have you, why the 2 Chainz? Just curious.
What? You're just talking about babies on fire. I know you've seen all the babies on fire. By the way, why do they call you 2 Chainz? She's like the human incarnation of Jiminy Glick, the Martin Short character on Comedy Central. And why do they call you that? Let's go to Bishop in Chicago. What's up, Bishop?
Hey, I just called you, but I want to talk to Nancy Grace here. She talks about irresponsibility of pot smokers.
Right.
What about the irresponsibility of her diet? I mean, she's pushing probably 300 pounds now.
Well, some caller just called up and said she's at McDonald's every morning getting breakfast.
That's what I'm saying. So we should go. You should go on her show, Sam, and talk to her about irresponsibility of her diet. You being a slender, good-looking, in-shape gentleman should.
That's right,
take
Bishop.
that call down.
You know what I had for lunch today?
What'd you have?
A NutriBullet, a fucking vegetable fruit juice. It was liquid.
I thought you ate the NutriBullets. That would be dangerous.
No. I was thinking about it, but I decided not to this time. Yeah, I would go on Nancy Grace's show. Say like Nancy, a.k.a. Tits McGee. That's what they call you. Yeah. Titty lady. Why are you so fat?
You big bitch.
Yeah, don't you know fat people die? So listen to 2 Chainz explaining the origin of his name.
Fire. And while I have you, why the 2 Chainz? Just curious.
2 Chainz was obviously my second time, coming around as far as a rapper.
We covered that 2 Chainz at the beginning of the interview. I mentioned Titty Boy too, of course.
Second time, coming around as far as a rapper. My first name was Titty Boy, but the name came from. And
I love it, 2 Chainz. I love it. Say that name again. That's my shit, 2 Chainz. That's my shit right there. I like 2 Chainz is all too. He's like, well, shoot, this bitch gonna say it. I might as well say it too. He's like, well, of course. My original name, Titty Boy.
I'm, coming around as far as a rapper. My first name was Titty Boy, but the name came from an internal.
Wait. He's about to explain where Titty Boy came from. My guess is that he's a boy, he's a man, who enjoys a pair of breasts. Adrian, do you have any guess? Do you know the answer? If you know the answer, tell me now.
As to why he calls himself Titty Boy?
Yeah.
Because...
Do you know this clip? Have you heard the clip?
No, but I read online.
Okay, well then I don't want to know. I want 2 Chainz. I want 2 Chainz to tell me. If you didn't know, I wanted you to guess. If you did know, it's not fair guessing.
Thing with my mom, me being an only child, me being a spoiled brat, me being breastfed, so the whole family called me Titty Boy. But then when it was time for me to really go
like, there's one baby in the family that gets breastfed. Yo, we should call him Titty Boy.
What an awesome family.
Yeah. Yo, Titty Boy thirsty again. Titty Boy needs something to drink.
Like as a kid, the rest of his family was just like, let's call him Titty Boy.
Right. Oh, he on that titty again. Yo, Titty Boy always be drinking. Well, he's 3 months old.
Titty Boy is such a good name.
It is. It is. I wasn't breastfed. I can't call myself Titty Boy. My mom didn't breastfeed me. I'm Formula Boy. That's me.
They just call me Booby Kid.
Booby Kid?
Yeah.
Not me. I mean, I like boobies, but I wasn't breastfed. Nobody growing up going, oh, Titty Boy getting some of that milk again. Damn, Titty Boy always hungry. What the fuck?
Here comes Titty Boy.
Yeah, Titty Boy. Oh, let me guess. Why Titty Boy crying now? Titty Boy need that tit. That's why. Let's go back to Titty Boy.
And for myself, I figured like 2 Chainz could obviously mean this would be my second chance, and then 1 chain being who I am, and another chain basically being what I thrive to be. So it has a little deeper meaning.
In one of your lyrics.
I like that. It has a little deeper meaning. He explains it. So it's got a little deeper meaning than all that.
She didn't care at all.
No, she wasn't listening.
No, she just wanted him to say Titty Boy again.
Right. I got my Titty Boy soundbite out of you. I got my Titty Boy. Let me go to some of these calls. 866-WOW-1-WOW if you want to be part of Sam Roberts Show. Let's go to Cody in Canada. What's up, Cody?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good. Yeah, she's a moron. And I think most people that think that weed fucks you up that much is stupid, because I used to smoke a lot of weed, and all it did was make me lazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's normally what happens. Now, could you get so lazy that you neglect your kids? I guess so. But odds are, if your kid ends up on fire, it wasn't the weed that did it.
No, I mean, I got 2 kids, third one on the way, and I mean, I might have a little puff here and there when they're sleeping or when they're not around, but I mean, you're just a shitty parent if you're going to do that.
I've seen you, Cody, drinking from your titties and smoking your doobies. All right, buddy.
And I got to ask you one thing before I go.
Ask
Were you
me.
stoned when you called what's-his-face by his dead son?
No, I wish I was stoned. I wish I could say I was on pills or something. No, I was.
I still think about that and laugh. Fuck, that was funny.
Yeah, I think about that and cringe a lot. I mean, that was easily the most awkward position I've ever been in as a broadcaster. But thank you for bringing it up again, Cody. I was not on drugs. Lou in Jersey.
Hey, good afternoon, Sammy.
Morning, buddy. I mean, afternoon, whatever time this is. I've been broadcasting for 150 hours. Go on.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It is so refreshing to hear 2 Chainz school Nancy Grace once again on the air.
And you know that Nancy Grace brought in 2 Chainz because she thought he was going to be some stupid rapper that didn't know anything, and she was going to be able to make a fool out of him. And she can't even stay on track with questions because he's able to answer them so well.
Absolutely. But the best part about this is that she knows she was schooled in this. And she goes on Twitter and puts the worst selfie of her, challenging 2 Chainz to a rematch. I would love to see 2 Chainz school her again, but 2 Chainz, please, he can go ahead and start. Nancy Grace is not the person to debate. She's finished.
I would love, I would love, not only if they debated again, I would love for 2 Chainz to become a regular co-host on the show. Can we get Titty Boy back in here? Just because every single show. Tell me that story again. What did they call you when you were growing up? Oh, Miss Grace, it was Titty Boy, because I was breastfed.
You know, that's something that you mentioned in the office, but you didn't mention here, is that they were on a split screen.
Yeah.
But they were in the same studio.
Right, so on the TV show, they're doing the thing where it's one talking head in each window. But then when she posted a photo of the two of them, they were sitting next to each other. So they made it on the TV screen look like they were in 2 separate studios for God knows what reason. Maybe just so there was more action on the screen. Nancy Grace may be the type of person that goes, I don't want 1 minute of TV to go by without this beautiful face shown. And then Titty Boy's like, I don't care.
But how awkward is that to be sitting next to somebody and just staring straight ahead while you're talking to them?
Yeah, because they're both talking into camera.
Yeah.
So they're probably sitting next to each other, just talking into their individual cameras. And they can't talk over each other because you'll hear the other one off mic. If you go, you can find it. Just Google Nancy Grace Titty Boy, and you'll find the 2 Chainz Nancy Grace photo. You could see in the video, they're on 2 separate screens, but in the photo, they're just standing together. Terry in Florida.
Hey, what's going on, Sam? It's a pleasure talking to you, man.
You too, buddy.
Hey, I like that comment you just made about them being in the same studio. I never would have thought that. It makes me think they were both probably high. But,
2 Chainz is like, I don't care what I talk into. I'm high as a motherfucker.
Look at my eyes right now. They are a sepia color, not because of these glasses, but this high-power marijuana I got.
Yeah.
The titties I suck. How much do you think she was so excited when she got her 1 sheet and she realized she would be able to say titty, because she's been wanting to try to explain something in a sexy way about those little stupid, well, they're not stupid, the little kids that are missing.
Yeah.
She wants to try to make it as sexy as possible, and now she's actually able to say titty.
I think the whole booking was based around that. The whole
it was.
Yeah, the whole booking. Thanks, Terry. The whole
thank you.
Yeah, buddy. The whole booking was based around the fact that she could say titty on television. Absolutely. John in New Hampshire.
Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Good, pal.
Just listening to the way Nancy Grace answered questions, it doesn't listen. She almost sounds like a slightly higher functioning version of Lady Di.
Yeah, I don't even know if she's more functioning than Lady Di. I mean, she's I guess she seems to be more sober. But I mean, the way in which she asked those questions, the way she completely interrupted her thought to just ask Titty Boy how he got his name, was a complete Lady Di non sequitur. They may have the same brain.
Yeah, it just hit me when she did that. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
They were separated at first.
You know, everybody thinks that weed is so bad and everything. And by the way, why do they call you 2 Chainz? Thanks, John. Let's go to Adam in New York. What's up, Adam?
Grind time. This is fucking awesome calling you.
Well, it's awesome talking to you. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah.
They did. The reason why they did 2 separate shots, close-ups on each on Nancy Grace's fat head and 2 Chainz, is because if they did a wide-angle shot where they could get them both in the picture, then you'd see the entirety of Nancy Grace's fat ass.
No, I don't want my ass on TV. How many times do I have to tell you, dickheads, I don't want my ass on TV? Chris in Macon.
Hey,
Hey, Sammy, how's it going, man?
Good, pal.
I was just wanting to say on behalf of people in Macon, which is where I believe Nancy Grace was born, we're not all that fucking stupid.
You're not. Okay, well, I'm glad you called in because Nancy Grace right now is fucking repping hard. I love that Nancy Grace has the college that she went to. She's got representatives calling into this show and being like, she doesn't represent that college. And now just the place where she's from, the city. People calling in, yeah, she doesn't represent us. Don't let her represent the city. She is living on a big fat island.
You know what she reminds me of, Sam? I think being I live here in the South, I see a lot of these old, self-righteous Southern women that try to force their views down your throat, think they're not wrong about anything. That's exactly what she is.
Yeah.
She is the epitome of fat.
Absolutely. She's a large woman and she's got a fat head. She's just, no thought is going through it. She's not listening. Let me play you how the argument ended and 2 Chainz unapologetically explaining his past.
Look at...
Look. It's like the Mortal Kombat song. That's how it begins.
Look at... You're looking at the camera. Look at the monitor. Do you see that child?
Stuttering Steve. Look at the monitor. My ass is hidden.
Look at...
Stuttering Stanley, not Stuttering Steve.
You're looking at the camera. Look at the monitor. Do you see that child?
Now, this kid may need marijuana when he's about 16 because he may, have some other things going on. But obviously, 2 years old.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Now,
she's showing a 2-year-old smoking weed, and he's like, maybe when he's 16. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, seriously, talk about the titties some more.
let's just talk about you for a minute.
You went to
college. You went to college on
about.
a sports scholarship, did you not?
Yes, and I'm very intelligent, and smoking pot for me.
Can I get back to you in high school when you were 16 and you were on a basketball scholarship, as I recall?
Yeah.
Were you using pot then?
I was selling
you
pot then.
You were an athlete.
Yeah, I was selling pot then.
And would you want your children to do that?
Nah, but it was a means for me.
And why is that?
It was a way of living. It was a way of living for me.
Why don't you want your children to do it, man?
He just answered.
Because I did it for him.
He goes, no, I don't want to do it. Why not? Well, it's just a means to an end for me. Well, why don't you want your children to do it? No, go reflect back on the first sentence I said immediately before you shouted that question again and pounded the desk. I love that. Just the unapologetic. No, I wasn't smoking because I was selling it. I was selling marijuana. I was dealing drugs then. That's what I did because I wanted to make some money. Oh, 2 Chainz is my hero after that one. Or should I say, a titty boy. Ed in Indiana, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Yeah, hey, she was trying to bait him so that he'd ask her about her titties since she showed him on TV.
Yeah, I saw your titties on Dancing with the Stars, Miss Nancy Grace. Alex in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. She very much reminds me of Max Headroom from the 1980s. You ever like the voice that would stutter and stammer.
Here's Nancy Grace's. Here's Nancy Grace's Max Headroom.
Look.
Pepsi.
Exactly.
Totally. Thanks. Good call. Garth in Indiana.
Sam. Hey, all this titty talk, man, reminds me. Who do you think AJ Pubishitz likes more, Titty Boy or Nancy Grace?
Well, AJ Pubishitz, I've met him before. He loves tits, but he also loves chicks. So I guess Nancy Grace would win that one.
He's chicks with tits.
Yeah, that's right, and she's got him, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Thank you, Garth. I'll talk to you later. Now, as I said, a lot going on today on the show. We got Katie Linendoll coming in a few minutes. Nicole's also on her way, and she's downstairs. She's coming up next. Katie Linendoll is going to be here next as well to talk about. She was at CES. She's the tech correspondent on the Today Show and CNN, and she's fabulous on this show. Also on today's show, Roman Reigns from WWE is calling in. It's Royal Rumble weekend, so we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But first, 2 weeks ago, I didn't get to play this last week. 2 weeks ago, Bob Kelly and I made the discovery that you don't need, if you have an auto-tune, you don't need to sing well, but we learned from T-Pain, if you do sing well, your lyrics don't need to make sense. So we decided to not sing well or make any sense lyrically and just sing, and it sounded ridiculous on the air. We just did it live and we made it up as we went along. It didn't make any sense. It was absurdity at its utmost. But put that audio in a studio, DJ Troy Kwan gets his hands on it, auto-tune it, and I think we've got a major, major radio hit here. Take a listen to Sam Roberts and Bob Kelly doing it on the radio.
You know what we should do, bro? We should put out a dance hit.
You think so?
Yeah, we should come up with a dance hit. And have Troy fucking blow it out.
Yeah.
Just so catchy that people can't deny it.
In the studio, curtains on the wall. Look at Bobby Kelly, he's kind of tall.
Santa's looking at me, I'm looking back. I wanna go to him and pull some jack shit on the house of the light on top of the roof.
And we doing some radio. And we doing some radio. Doing some radio. And we doing some radio.
We've already learned today, in the few minutes that we've been on the air, from Kanye West we learned you don't have to know how to sing.
Nope.
And from T-Pain we learned the lyrics don't even have to make sense.
No.
The lyrics don't even have to make sense. And we doing some radio. And we doing some radio. Doing some radio. And we doing some radio. And the lights go on.
When the lights go on.
And the lights go on.
When the lights go on.
And the lights go on.
When the lights go on.
And the lights go on.
When the lights go on.
I'm going to be a pop star, Mom. I'm going to be a pop star. That song's going to be huge. Did you hear that? Holy shit. Listen, I'll talk to Katie Linendoll next. Nicole is coming up right now. Then Roman Reigns. A whole lot more. Sam Roberts Show to go. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Show here on a Friday, as we are every Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the beginning, you're going to have to listen on demand or one of the replays over the weekend or something, because it was absolutely fabulous. And speaking of fabulous, look who's finally walked in the door, entered my life once again. She's saying hi to everybody else.
Sorry, I'm smooching.
It's not me or the audience.
Do you want to kiss as well?
No, I want you to prioritize
Okay.
the Sam Roberts Show audience.
Okay, sorry.
As opposed to our wonderful in-studio guests, who I haven't even introduced yet. So as far as radio world goes, they don't exist.
Oh, that's true.
And they know it. They're just sitting there quietly like,
They look
we're
fabulous,
waiting.
though. They look fabulous.
Although I heard the gadgets being tinkered with, so I think everybody's getting an idea.
Does that excite you?
Of who's, yeah, I love gadgets being tinkered with. It's very, very exciting to me. Well, Nicole, our friends.
Yes.
Katie Linendoll and Steve Lunny are both here. Welcome, people.
Thanks.
Hello.
How are you guys both doing?
We're pumped up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Still recovering from CES a little
Don't
bit.
even with that CES. I'm never going to that thing again.
We never got to see you.
I know,
unfortunately.
and I probably wouldn't have been able to find you even if we tried to meet up.
Here's my question. Obviously, CES is the big tech expo. And by the way, Steve, I saw your Facebook post, and I appreciate that this time you wrote, we're going to possibly talk about CES, but I have absolutely no idea, because it's never worked out in the past when you're like, here's what we're going to discuss.
And I've only actually been on once before, so I'm learning quickly.
Yeah, you get
I call it a
the
grab
vibe.
bag.
Yeah.
It's a surprise every time. And then we talk about conspiracy theories.
Right.
Sam
Well,
Roberts hypotheses.
I like to blow lids off of things.
You do.
And it's because I have such a weak grip. I can't unscrew anything.
Yes,
so I
you
just
should
blow
totally,
it off.
this is a sidebar, we should talk about it down the line, but you should come to the annual UFO Congress with me.
Oh,
I would love to do
That's
that.
happening next month.
That's at where?
Absolutely. It's happening in Arizona.
It's a real thing?
It's so much, in fact, that they've actually, they hold the Guinness World Record for the largest UFO conference.
Why would I not go to that?
This is legit territory, people.
You know how much information I could come back with to inform people of what's actually going
Cattle
on?
mutilations, whistleblowers, they have it all.
Oh,
See, I feel like places like that have all this information that is not being shared properly.
You're on the forefront of this.
Yes.
So do they have information about, don't get mad at me or make fun of me, what is it The area what?
Area 51?
I wish you hadn't told her. I wish you had not told her what the number was.
I almost said Area 54, like Studio 54, but that didn't feel right.
You should have heard last week. Nicole and I got into an argument about how many years a slave the person in 12 Years a Slave was.
Well, we were both wrong.
I was calling it 40 years a slave.
And I said, I think that sounds like a very long time. I don't think it was quite 40 years.
She said 7.
Yeah.
So by Price is Right rules, I completely lost that one because I was way over. Way over.
$1.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you go on shows, Katie, because you're on shows and Steve goes with you a lot of times, but you're on radio shows, you're on television shows all the time. Do they give you an idea like this is what the segment will include and it ends up being true?
The segment will include.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I do the whole segment.
They're just like, so they just bring you on and say, okay, we're too lazy to produce a segment.
We're
going to bring
out of your mind?
Yeah.
People think that I show up on the Today Show. My friends are like, oh, did you just like go into the Today Show today? I go, that segment took 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to prepare. I have to get the gadgets in. I fully vet them and test them.
Right.
And make sure they're amazing.
Because you're the asshole if they don't look right on TV. Al
100%.
Roker's not taking credit for that. Right. Willie Geist is not going to.
The onus is on me. So people think these like 3-minute segments on national shows are like really easy. They are a lot of work, and Steve is my witness.
It's true. I mean, the vetting process prior and then actually getting them hands-on, the logistics of getting them sent, having them shipped, really testing them enough to make it a viable thing. Does it look good on air? Is the price point right? I mean, there's
I probably
so much.
put in 150 gadgets for the 10 that are chosen.
What? You have to do all, and for me, it's just like you just send an email. Hey, what about this day?
Well,
and I'm like, yeah, sure.
It's such a breeze.
I was thinking of you. I was watching the Today Show. Whenever I'm not working, I watch the Today Show at home.
You do?
Yeah, I always do. I love the Today Show.
Why do I learn something new about you every day?
I don't know why. I love the Today Show. But I was watching some guy, like, he does brain games on a TV show somewhere.
Oh, that's a true statement.
And none of the games worked. He was on there, and, like, Willie Geist was getting all the questions right. It was like, it wasn't complicated at all. He was like, okay, well, what if we try this? We'll put the glasses on, then we take them off, and he was still doing the high fives. His balance wasn't off. It was like, this is not working. But whenever Katie's on, it works.
Well, I have sympathy for that because live demos are just like, it's painful. It is, and there's frequency issues with the microphones, and like this one time I was doing a holiday segment, and I had these little like remote controlled fairies, and the frequencies like mixed with each other, and there was just like 25 fairies running around the studio, and Props is grabbing them, and I'm like, oh crap! There was a lot of F-bombs dropped, and then it was like, and you're on air, and you smile.
Little kids are going into epileptic seizures, and there's too much excitement.
It's not easy.
No.
And you have to fill the time and make it seem like it's not awkward and nothing's going wrong.
Right.
No, it's all smooth.
Right.
We've been friends forever, and that's why these 3 minutes are such a breeze. We're like family in your living room. So complicated. Speaking of family, real quick, before we get into everything that happened at CES, because I see you brought with, I saw on your thing, one of the things that Katie brought with her that she's already got set up. She's already doing her demo.
Wow, what is that?
Hang on.
Sorry. I ruined everything.
Because I wanted to tell you while I have you here, because I know you can't stay for the whole show today, Nicole. You know who I saw? I debuted, before you guys got here, I debuted the Bob Kelly, Sam Roberts auto-tune hit, which is going to be a major smash record.
Wow.
Duh.
You know who I saw coming? Because we discovered like a couple weeks ago with Bob Kelly that if you have auto-tune, the lyrics don't have to make sense, and or the singing doesn't have to be good.
Correct.
So we did both of those things and auto-tuned it. It's going to be a major hit. I want to give you, Katie, the inside scoop because you'll be on the Today Show in 3 weeks talking about this.
Wow.
Like, you guys got to hear this song.
It's a viral sensation waiting to happen.
Yes.
Thank you in advance.
Like I said, I've told Nicole, we did a parody of the Serial podcast, and you talk about viral. There are almost 2,000 hits on that. Okay?
Killing it.
2,000 YouTube views. So I know a thing or two about viral.
iPhone 5 girl, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's right. You know who I saw outside in the lobby yesterday?
Who?
And it's the reason you've been getting tweets from them today.
Filthy Brothers?
The Twin Towers, the Filthy Brothers. The Twin Towers of rap. I saw them outside. They're these two guys. It's my favorite people in the world.
They just stand there.
They're probably 7 feet tall each. They're two black guys. They're identical twins. And they stand outside the building. And forever, they just stood there outside of this building. And none of us knew, nobody who works here knew why they were there.
It's a marketing effort of promoting themselves?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they wore matching clothes, but they're like adults, 7 feet tall, black men.
Yeah.
And so I sent the intern, who also happens to be black, just a coincidence, over to talk to the Filthy Brothers to see what their deal was. And they just opened up to him. They were like, oh, we're rappers. We take photos with celebrities here. And what they do is they find celebrities, they take photos with them, they hold up their album, and then they go on Twitter and say, Sean Wayans is co-signing our album.
Just because they took a picture with them, they make people think that celebrity like listened to the album and is like, yeah, check this one out.
But it's like
Does that approach work?
They seem very happy, so...
But they're still standing there.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. Exactly.
That's actually a great point.
They might have moved on to greater enterprises if it had been successful.
No, even after we had them up here yesterday, where I saw them was standing outside. Okay. But I love them because they're not like they don't have that much gratefulness in them. They're always ready for the next thing. Like if you give them something, they're like, "Oh, thank you so much. Now we're ready for some more."
Yeah.
So I saw them, and instead of just being like, "Hey, what's up? Thank you for giving us the opportunity. We're just two strange people that stand outside your studio, and you brought us up here for no reason."
No.
Instead, they were like, "Oh, you got to get us back on the show. I keep telling people about it. We send out the pictures and everything, but I don't know. There was no YouTube videos going on the show."
Like, really?
And I was like, "Oh,
It's never enough.
That's a good point, Filthy Brothers. There were no YouTube
enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So I told them we would have them back in video.
Great. Can't wait, Sam. Thanks. Can't wait.
Yeah, but they're great rappers.
One of the most uncomfortable interviews we've ever done.
We got them to freestyle and everything.
Oh, so bad.
It's a very musical show.
Oh, totally.
So that's what's going on here.
Why do they call themselves the Filthy Brothers?
Not sure.
I don't know.
Is that their doing?
I think it was like that they're so badass. Like they're so
bad they're filthy?
Yeah.
They introduced themselves. They said, "We're the Twin Towers of Rap. You can follow us on Twitter at Filthy Brothers."
Do they have a huge following?
I mean, yeah, in the thousands. Not tens of thousands, but thousands.
In the quadruple digits.
Yeah, that's right. 4 digits. There's a comma in there. So, I mean, maybe it's not the biggest following in the world. They're not Ja Rule, but...
No.
Ja Rule.
What? That's not a contemporary rapper?
No, not really.
Well, listen. We're not here to talk about the Filthy Brothers and the rap convention.
Right.
I don't know. You just gave them a good ad space right there.
You're right.
I like to promote people.
No press is bad press.
For the Filthy Brothers, because I can promote the Filthy Brothers, and nobody's ever going to be like, I've become a fan of them. Everybody's going to become aware of them.
Right.
But is any going to be? Yeah, that's my favorite band now because I heard them on Sam Roberts.
Are you
show.
looking them up right now, Steve?
They have 11 followers.
11 followers?
Sam.
Did you? Okay,
No.
Maybe I don't read everything all the time.
I mean, unless this is a spoof or a parody account.
It is.
From one of their
I'm
fans.
looking it up
And
right
4 of them are us right here in the studio.
Right.
And the other 2 are the Filthy Brothers.
Right.
There's 6.
There's 6.
So we have a grandparent and a cousin and a parent in there too somewhere.
Nicole, they tweeted you today with a photo of you.
I'm looking it up right now.
They also they tweet the same photos over and over and over and over.
4,293.
Okay.
Filthy.
How many people are they following?
931.
Okay.
All right.
That's not a bad
1 to 4
ratio.
ratio is not horrible.
388,000 tweets.
Wait, how many?
388,000.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
All right, enough about them.
It's what?
I'm just so over the Filthy Brothers.
All right. Well, I'm just
Nicole's
saying.
counting down to their next appearance.
I wanted to.
If I get bumped
Yeah.
for the Filthy Brothers,
Wouldn't that be great?
I'm pissed.
Well, do you listen to the show? Like from now on, if I'm like, yeah, Katie, we don't have room for you today, but in a couple weeks, I'm going to reach out to you. You're going to turn on the radio and it's going to be like, what's up? I just want to say what's up to New York, to all the people, you know who we are, the Filthy Brothers co-signing. It'll be good.
I'm going to sign them and one-up you.
Yeah. No, I sign them. You can co-sign them. Sign. Linendoll Records. Wow. Nicole was at CES too.
She was.
CES went down, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
I totally popped my CES cherry and I didn't enjoy it.
What?
None of it?
Listen, it was cool. I saw some cool things, but I was very overwhelmed by the amount of people. I couldn't get anywhere. It just was annoying.
You know how the people who are true to Comic-Con hate Comic-Con now because Hollywood came in and took it over?
I was going at 12 when it was in like a Holiday Inn off the highway.
Right, and now you go to San Diego and it's like, I can't even find a comic book in here.
Yeah, there's cool people there now.
Right. Yeah. Nicole is the beginning of this CES invasion. She has no business going.
I don't. Zero business.
So what were you there for?
I was
And can
working.
we tell, it's 170,000 people, record-breaking
Wow.
year,
Yeah.
as it is every year. 35 football fields of gadgets. I mean, you could spend a week there and not get through everything. So it's just like you're hit in the face with sensory overload.
And I was at one of the cooler booths. I was at the 808 booth with all the headphones. We had DJ spinning. It was like a party there.
That's cool.
But
an 808 is cool.
Yeah, but I just walked out and I was like, get me out of here.
That's also just a lot to have day in, day out.
Right,
It's a bit Groundhog Day too.
What were you doing? Just modeling the headphones?
No, I was kind of the hype man. I was like...
You were Flavor Flav?
Sort of. I was getting people to come in, check out the headphones, check out the speakers, all the wireless, all the cool shit. And every time I took a break, I was like, my back, my feet. I just wanted to I felt like an old woman. I really did.
Right.
But I mean, I guess it was an experience. Everyone should experience it once.
Did you actually go walk the floor, or did you just stay in your little 808 booth?
No, I walked the floor. I saw some things.
You did?
Did you see that robot, that Asian woman robot?
I saw many robots.
She was like...
Did you just make the plural of robot? Like deer? I saw many robots.
Octopi.
I don't know. She was cool and scary at the same time.
There was an Asian robot?
Yeah, and she talked to you. And
now, when you say Asian robot, are you just going on physical stereotypes, or is this robot actually from the continent?
She said she was Japanese.
Oh, okay.
It was a Japanese company, and she was Asian, and she had it looked like real skin, and she was like, I can feel...
it calling in the air. Oh.
That was not what she said. But she would say,
cool.
I can show human emotion. And then she would smile and she could, I can be sad. And then she would show that she was crying. It was very creepy and sort of looked like the beginning of a horror film, but it was very cool.
Katie, do you worry about robot takeover?
Singularity?
Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, not right now.
People in my life get driven crazy by this because I will not go to self-checkout. I hate it when I go to parking lots and instead of a parking attendant, they have the ticket taker. Mm-hmm. I like a person there taking a ticket because I feel like all these jobs, like a cashier, like a person who works in a parking lot, all these places are now being turned into just machines that can do it, and you just do it yourself. It's like the Today Show. Eventually, they're not going to need a producer because they're going to be able to call people like Katie who produce their own segments. Like when you're outsourcing to machines, I feel like that's the beginning of Terminator.
For the record, I work alongside a producer. Thank you for playing.
But don't you worry that this is the beginning of Terminator, like the machines taking over?
I think a lot of that's already there in a way that I was thinking about this the other day. I was running on a treadmill and I had 15 devices on me tracking all my metrics and data. And it's not a robot with a face, like Nicole was saying, but it is all of this information is now being plugged into a computer.
Yeah.
Which that we're kind of undervaluing in the sense that it's happening.
Yeah,
all
right.
this stuff is happening. We're tracking everything. Well, I won't say what's happening right next to me.
I mean, please.
We're at an amazing place.
Yeah, I'm the idiot who's like, watch out for these self-checkouts when I'm sitting there putting everything into my iPhone. No, but this is cool, so this is different. This is fun. It's got a camera on it.
It's slowly happening, but...
Yeah, this is the gadget that you brought with you. And look,
it's so
I wrote
cool.
it down. This is my note list for the segment.
Terrible penmanship.
Well, it's just scratched. Okay. It's not for public consumption. Okay.
I
can read it.
Zappa Dingbat.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want anybody reading my notes. Okay. It's my own little secret code.
Gotcha.
It says floating speaker right there.
Oh, there it is.
Because I saw you brought the floating speaker.
I did bring the floating speaker. One of the many things that Steve and I discovered at CES that kind of blew our mind.
Yeah.
Amongst 3D printing pens, version 2.0,
wait.
motorized skates. Oh my gosh.
What? Whoa.
Don't.
We kind of geeked out. We lost it by the end of the last day.
Are you saying a printer that prints pens or a pen that prints things?
Well, that's capable. And actually, I should back up because we did visit 3D Systems, which is my favorite 3D printing company, which does a lot of 3D printed in the medical space and also in aviation and now food.
Out of what?
They had a 3D printed band. And Stevie Wonder popped in. It was just ridiculous. But
I would be impressed enough with a 3D printed rubber band. You mean an actual instrument playing band?
Guitars and
oh my god,
hybrid products. So the strings aren't 3D printed, but the cases and the necklaces and that kind of thing.
It was cool. So, and then they had 3D printed emoji candies, which we gorged ourselves on.
What are they made out of?
Sugar.
They tasted good?
Sugar powder, sort of.
Oh.
Okay.
But they can print ceramic now. They can print pottery. What? Yeah, it's really quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Organs.
All these
3D
people,
print organs.
all these people in the Midwest are like, I just sit at home making pottery all day. Well, yeah, I bought this printer, so you're all good. You're all set on that.
There's singularity.
Right.
3D printer.
Right. Exactly. No, we're all good. We don't need you doing that. So, and they make organs, they make everything.
They do
Somebody made a
everything.
gun with a 3D
That's
printer.
a true statement.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's in 3 sentences, one thing that I've seen that's really cool is these kids now that don't have limbs, they don't have hands.
Oh, yeah.
$40,000 to $80,000 to have a prosthetic, and then a kid outgrows it in 1 to 2 years, so they can't afford it.
It's like pants.
Right?
Exactly.
But more expensive.
Exactly.
So, my university, Rochester Institute of Technology, also named the nerdiest campus by ThinkGeek.com. Very proud.
Yeah.
They are now 3D printing hands for $50.
What?
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
And these kids can print Iron Man and Spider-Man and Frozen, and they're cool. They're now excited to have 3D printed limbs.
They should at least
and affordable.
bump it up to $250. That's because $250 is still
Make
affordable
money
as compared to $40,000.
Right. See, I'm trying to get a deal off this.
I'm just
Shut
saying.
it.
Profit margins.
There's an extra couple hundred to make in there. I don't understand why we're leaving it on the table is the only thing. So they're making $50 print. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
So
see, that's actually using technology for a good cause.
Right.
Yes.
Except then all the kids are printing out candy and it's making them diabetic, and then they lose their hands, and then they got to go back to the printer. It's amazing.
Always got to go there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Always got to go there.
The cycle.
Down the rabbit hole.
I see it. I can see it. I see things 4 steps ahead.
You always do.
Denzel Washington taught me. This is chess, not checkers.
Isn't that a Wayne Gretzky quote too?
I don't know. I heard
you
it.
Follow where the puck's going.
Right, where it's going, not where it is now. Right. Wayne Gretzky made
Never
a lot
too
of life.
early for a Wayne Gretzky.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're printing out candy in hands.
Correct.
We are.
And pens.
And so there was one of the spotlight products was called the 3 Doodler 2.0. Now this isn't new. There's been a 3D printing pen before.
Okay, this is new to me.
It's the first printing 3D pen in midair.
Explain to me how it works.
So it uses filament. So it has this. Well, how many inches do you think the piece of plastic is?
10 inches, and it yields 100 inches of actual printed material.
Wow.
You can print a wallet. You can print a figurine. You can print jewelry.
You have to have some ability to do it. You need to have rendering ability.
Draw it
2 speeds, slow and fast.
So everything you can
Heats
build
up.
with duct tape, you can build
It's
with this
almost
pen.
like a glue gun in a way.
Right.
But it works in the air. So now the 2.0 got a lot of press because it's faster, it's thinner, and it's just kind of cool to see in person.
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
going to lie.
understand. If you're so you're doing it in the air, but then wouldn't it fall down?
No, it needs to be rooted on a surface. But then
Okay.
you can branch it into the air as long as it has a base holding it, some sort of structure at the bottom.
3 Doodler.
I think it's my spirit gadget.
It seems great.
It's pretty cool.
3.0 is my spirit gadget.
This is my issue with CES. Didn't you want to leave with a 3 Doodler? Didn't you want there was no.
I left with 3.
You did?
Yeah. Oh, then I just wasn't VIP enough because I just wanted swag at every spot I stopped at.
Nicole's like Jonah Hill in the eBay store and 40-year-old virgin.
I just want to leave with
these
it.
boots are phenomenal. I'll just give you money and then you can give them to me. I'll take them home now.
I left with the 3 Doodler.
What else?
And I left with the motorized skates.
Shut up!
I did.
Hate you.
Wow.
It got real on those motorized skates.
Did it?
Let me tell you something. Up to speeds of up to 12 miles per hour. I bit it a few times.
Did you really?
It was awesome.
Do you have video?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's power
Where, can
on the
people
back
find
of the
it?
wheels.
Where can they find your...
Absolutely. So we were covering for Popular Science.
Okay.
So I did a whole 10 video series. It was so much fun. So we were finding the wacky and also the practical. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have to tell you about this spider dress that I found. That was my favorite.
Did you make it out of the pen?
No.
Oh.
That would take years.
Oh, wouldn't? So the pen is not a quick moving...
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't have that kind of time.
You're better
But
with
it's a good
small
idea.
objects. Right.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'm going to print a dress.
The
For me?
motorized skates, though.
Yeah.
You can customize the speed on an app. The skates have their own app.
What?
Yep, it was beautiful.
Look at the excitement in her eyes.
It was so cool.
Well, I mean, I could imagine.
But you know how hard it is to rollerblade if you haven't done it prior? The balance issue. So these are rollerblades that propel themselves.
This would have gave me a chance at the couples only skate when I was growing up in
Right.
Pennsylvania at Evans Skateland.
Yeah.
I was never in the couples only skate. They'd be like, it's a couples only skate. And I was the only one that didn't have a date.
Oh, I would have gone with you. I didn't have a date either.
And I was like, I'll just wait till Ghostbusters comes on and run myself back into the rug wall to stop myself. It's
See,
cool.
let me tell you something. This is why and first time I had Katie in, I was testing her to see if she was the real deal or not, because there's a lot of people who they'll jump on the gadget bandwagon or whatever thing is kind of popular because there's a niche audience to
Right.
it. And they're like, oh, I can get that audience and just get them to look at whatever I'm doing. I was very disappointed because Melissa Joan Hart was up here, and I love Melissa Joan Hart. She's great.
Clarissa.
But she started live tweeting wrestling shows.
This is a true statement. And actually, they gave her a plug on Raw a couple weeks ago.
Right. So I had her up here and I was like, I mean, I didn't air the interview. Don't tell anybody. But I had, because I was disappointed by it, because I had her up here. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll just kind of get into it about wrestling a little bit. She doesn't know a damn thing about wrestling.
It's a farce?
Her like, sister is just kind of telling her what her nephew likes. And is going like, yeah, just,
Are you sure?
I was like, she wrote something about the Bella twins, Tyson Kidd, and Cesaro. And I said, okay, once
Very random choice for stars.
And it's super deep. I'm like, once those names are mentioned, like, those are the type of names that I bring up, and Nicole rolls her eyes. She's like, I'm out of this conversation.
Just did it.
The Bella twins is okay because the reality show, but the others are like, so I was like, yeah, I saw you tweeting about this. And she's like, oh, yeah, haha, Bella twins. It was like, wow.
Did you call her out?
No, I moved on.
Come on, you should have been like, you don't know anything.
Well, she specifically said, she was like, yeah, my sister kind of tells me what to write on wrestling stuff.
No. That's honest, I guess.
No.
Yeah, so that's what, once she said that, I was like, you don't even know. And she was like, I know, I just said, my sister tells me what to write.
She took all the fun out of catching her.
Right, yeah. She just admitted it and was honest about it. But like, Katie, on the other hand, actually has a legitimate enthusiasm and can go back to the Roller Dome or whatever. Evans.
I would say mid 80s, because I was pretty young then, about four or five. I've never missed a Raw or SmackDown my entire life.
That's incredible.
I can name that entrance tune in about 2 notes.
Real, like that 2-year-old on YouTube.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty impressive.
But you're the same way with the gadgets.
Absolutely. I mean,
it's
I was
the real
in
deal.
Computer camp. My mom said the other day, she's like, you've come a long way since computer camp and the Civil War Club. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
You were in a Civil War Club?
Electrical wiring, Civil War Club, and computer camp. Started at about 12, and then I had my networking certs by 19.
But at least they supported you. And
they
tried
loved
to foster
it.
this.
Yeah, and we didn't have internet. I made us some internet.
You made internet?
Oh, that's a whole other story.
From scratch.
How do you make internet?
I've parlayed my expertise into more positive direction. You don't have internet, you find a way to get internet. So it starts there.
Oh, is that like getting free cable? Like splitting wires and stuff?
Exactly.
I get it.
That's a better way to phrase it.
Yeah. That's genius. Yeah, even like, see, that type of stuff has always been totally beyond me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, hey, Dad, do we have America Online? Nope. Well, that's that then.
Next.
It's the end of using the computer. Good thing wrestling's on.
Yeah, right.
So tell me.
Yes.
About this magical device you have in front of you.
It's like a hoverboard.
Totally. I mean, that's a great analogy.
Speaking of hoverboard, before you get to that, remember a year or so ago when there was that viral video with the hoverboard that was really obviously fake?
Well, the legit one was about 2-3 months ago.
Right. But the one that looked like the Back to the Future board that was like, everybody was like, that's obviously
Why
fake.
You gotta be a dick.
I showed it to Nicole on the air, and she was like, holy shit, it's here. The hoverboard has arrived.
Be a dick. Everything on the internet is real.
Yeah, she couldn't believe it.
Lay off her.
And I just sat there like, yeah, it's great. And then boom.
She showed you yesterday the HoloLens. That's legit. That's real.
The HoloLens?
Microsoft.
I don't know anything about that.
Big news the other day.
Tell me about it.
You might have to Google it because it's like Jetsons material.
What? What is it?
It is. I feel like, what would you say the best way to describe
well,
it?
It's probably, it could be potentially the coolest thing Microsoft's ever done if it lives up to the promise of
stage of Google Glass.
Yeah. A more immersive sci-fi Google Glass. Maybe what Google Glass wished it could have aspired to be.
Yeah, Google Glass was a flop, huh?
I mean, didn't you feel like you wanted to poke everybody in the eye that wore Google glasses?
Yeah,
at
including
CES?
me. But when I saw
I would have poked you in the eye.
This year at CES, there were fewer people wearing it.
I don't know.
It's glass.
But like when it first came out, you saw people even just in the streets when people still weren't sure if it was going to click or not.
I was so afraid I was going to get beat up in the subway.
I would have beat you up. I would have beat you up.
$1,500 I paid for that. $1,500.
Nicole would have beaten you up and not taken the Google glasses. Just beating you up for wearing them.
Why are you wearing those?
Yeah. You probably didn't have a date on skate night, did you?
It's all coming back. It's a host of unpleasant associations.
But so it's like Google glasses, but it's what it kind of should have been.
It is, and again,
what does it look like? It's
pretty cool.
It looks Star Trek-y.
Yeah, it's less
like
trying
data?
to melt into your regular look. Like Google Glass tried to be a little bit more under the radar, where this is like it's hugely visual. It covers your eyes. It looks like more of a sci-fi visor.
Built-in CPU, but also built-in holographic processing unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the reality that you're putting on in the overlays and the holograms are incredible. They do a pretty comprehensive video. But what amazes me is we're at the same kind of situation. It's like Oculus. It's like, will anybody develop for Microsoft? Look at the app situation.
Right.
It's iOS and Android.
Right.
Microsoft has not come into cool territory in such a long time.
Yeah. And traditionally, I feel like when Microsoft announces something, even when it looks cool, it ends up not working that well.
We'll see.
There is some cynicism around them because they have. I mean, the Surface. I think they redeemed some cool points because it's a legitimately cool tablet. It does cool things. It's a great touchscreen. But I mean, they have yet to launch an operating system that's really viable. You know, well, Apple's had so many versions of OS X, and they just keep iterating Windows, and it never really works. So there's a credibility gap.
Yeah. I mean, Windows keeps relaunching and it's like, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it though?
For sure.
I am.
You are, and you are too.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally into this.
So it sounds like they've figured out we don't need to blend it into what we're doing. Like, it doesn't have to be subtle. It's okay if people know I have this thing. Like, the iPhone is the size of a shoe now.
Well, look at Oculus, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Oculus is...
Right.
It's like bigger than your head.
Yeah, it's a giant strap that goes around your head.
Have you ever experienced Oculus Rift?
No, but I've only watched people get freaked out by it.
Dude, it's one of those things you have to experience to really believe.
Okay. Do you know what this is, Nicole?
No.
Okay, it's like a virtual reality headset, but when you put it on, like people always talk about, Oculus.
Right.
It's this amazing immersive experience. So I actually went to the birthplace of where they created Oculus, where the inventor developed it. And you sit in this chair. It's kind of like a 4D immersion experience. And I was training on a Navy ship. So here I am in this Navy ship, and it got so intense that I got motion sickness.
Oh, really?
It was legit. And now, seeing a couple of the new programs developed for it, you can jump off of a building, and people won't do it. If you feel like you're really
you get vertigo.
there.
I mean, it's really, and the graphics aren't high res. Really, it's just the immersiveness of the motion.
Yeah,
it's like when you go to the arcade and I'd say 99 2000, and that big virtual roller coaster, and they would lock you in. Whoa! Yeah.
Oh my God. And not to get nerdy for 2 seconds, but taking away from that experience. Well, by the way, I didn't know when I wanted to flip up from the reality, which was very weird.
Right.
So I think about dudes having video game addiction. Now we're going to take that 2 levels further.
Right. I just live in this now.
Yeah. Whoa!
And the brain is so easy to trick. Like when I go to the movies and they have Regal has the movie opening that looks like a roller coaster.
With a Dolby Digital surround sound, I'm in.
Right. All I have to do is really focus on the screen, and I put my hands up, and I think I'm on a roller coaster.
I wish I had a picture of you with your hands just up right now.
I do that. I go
so nerdy, like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Every time. And it works. Every single time.
Katie's taking a picture right now. Nerd.
Wait, could I say one thing, though? 2 sentences.
Yes.
So what I think would be amazing with Oculus is no one wants to go to the dentist. No one wants to go into the doctor.
Right.
That's where we use Oculus in addition to gaming and immersing ourselves in some serious content. Holy crap, this could change the game.
Yes.
It's like surgery.
It's like being...
Hello.
Yeah.
What's that sound?
I don't know.
Is that the hoverboard?
Yeah, that's the hover speaker.
I think there's a frequency issue with should I say it? The levitating speaker?
Holy shit.
It's unbelievable.
I thought it sounded like the future when I heard that.
Right? So I'm gonna up the ante because next to me, which we haven't even gotten to, is a
I keep
levitating
getting distracted.
speaker.
Yes.
It was a CES award winner for innovation.
Okay.
Rightfully so.
It's floating.
A lot of people had this on their dumbest of CES.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you.
I'm gonna disagree.
I saw it and I said, that's amazing. And then I said, never in my life.
It's a showpiece.
I've never looked at my jam box and said, I wish that was floating in midair. That would sound better.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right.
It just looks cool.
And I know it's kind of hard to describe here. It's like a little speaker that levitates using the power of magic and or magnetics.
I'm going to go. Oh, I listened to that Insane Clown Posse song, and magnets actually work only through magic and miracles.
There you go.
So it is the same thing.
I'm gonna bring some stuff to the table here, though.
Please do.
I'm gonna give one away.
No
What?
way.
I'm gonna do it.
How are you going to do that?
We're gonna have a contest.
Okay.
On Twitter.
Okay.
We're gonna give away a levitating speaker.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is the future.
This is legit.
I'm on the show with you right now. I can't even get swag.
I know.
No. I actually did bring you guys something, and I won't time burglarize the entire audience. But Nicole, this is for you.
What is it?
I love that you bring gifts every
a
time.
Super Adorb Fest Toast USB hand warmer. And for Sam,
I love you. I think I'm in love with you.
She's so great.
For Sam, I have a Tetris light.
That's perfect. And there's a bow on it and everything. What a thoughtful person.
And you can arrange it like Tetris too. Like you can change the configuration
and
of the pieces.
course, the long white
cool
piece never shows up.
Is that going right in the living room?
No,
right.
Never
of course.
shows up.
Yeah, no, this is going to be my nightlight because I've been getting scared.
Have you?
Oh.
Yeah, so this will help.
It's okay.
This will be much better. This will be much
We
better.
always bring prezzies.
So, I know.
Steve and I.
You're amazing. Steve, you're amazing too. Just because she gets to hand them out does not mean she's the only amazing person.
I'm going to confess she's kind of the brains behind those gifts, too. But I do enjoy taking some credit.
There you go.
Well, how are we going to give away the floating speaker, do you suppose?
This is up to you and Nicole.
Oh, God, we have to be creative, like right now?
All right, here's what we do.
You always have a good contest idea.
I have a great contest. Well, a lot of times my contest ideas get shut down by you, and then you guys make them slightly more appropriate.
I got it.
We're like, good idea, but we have a better one.
I got not a real one. First person to go down and get a picture with the Filthy Brothers, tweet it to us, you win.
I have an even better show-related contest.
Okay.
Because we took over a hashtag last week and brought a lot of attention to it.
Don't do it.
And I feel...
no, nothing dirty. PG.
Well...
You tried to X-rate me on my last giveaway.
Well, he's about to do it again.
No, dude. No, dude.
I mean, it's a tech thing, and I feel like we should talk to Katie about it.
I mean, you should let her be aware of it, but I don't think that needs to be the contest, Sam.
Well, I feel like the best...
I think I'm already agreeing with Nicole on this.
You know Eggplant Friday?
I do not.
Oh, good. Well, yeah.
Yes, you know what, Steve? Google eggplant, hashtag Eggplant Friday.
We got into this last week in a big, big way. I've told you, this is the Cutting Edge Show. Sam Roberts Show. Katie Linendoll is here. Steve Lunny is here. Nicole Ryan is here. And this is a Cutting Edge Show. And last week, we got into this in a big, big way. Eggplant Friday is taking over. And I was going to say... What's up, Steve?
Oh, I just read what it's about.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's not in her
wheelhouse.
Yeah,
it's not my brand.
It's okay.
It's off-brand.
It is.
Off-brand.
Huh.
Okay, let's move on. Okay.
So Best Eggplant Friday will not be the one who gets a floating speaker.
What's Plan B? Let's.
Huh.
There's always a Plan B.
There's always a Plan B, but that's the bad guy plan for the record. But I don't know. I mean, I thought I came up with the creative one.
No, you didn't.
You didn't know about Eggplant Friday?
Okay, enough with Eggplant
And now
Friday.
I don't feel bad about it. If it was like a wrestling terminology that I just happened to miss
Right.
or like an oversight,
Right.
then I'd be pissed at myself.
I should be happy you missed this
Yeah.
one.
This is something all the kids are talking about.
And
Eggplant
I'm
Friday
really
is
actually
huge.
glad that I'm really comfortable saying I don't know when people are like, "What do you know about electric lawnmowers?" I'm like, "Fucking nothing."
Right.
Sorry,
I say I don't know maybe 15
know
times
what?
a day.
That's not bad.
That
Maybe
is a
30
confidence factor.
Maybe 30. I have an idea. How about like someone? I love when people Photoshop good things. Like
Okay.
they Photoshop if they can find like an old
Best Eggplant Friday Photoshop?
No!
Okay, all right. Bad idea. No, you're right.
No, but like something
That was
like
ridiculous.
A picture of if we like take a picture of us and then they Photoshop it somehow.
Wait a minute. I got it.
Okay.
Katie Linendoll just took a photo of me on a pretend roller coaster.
Yes,
That's a true
Photoshop
statement.
that.
So
on a roller coaster.
Yes.
it's a Sam Roberts Photoshop contest. Katie,
Yes.
you'll
Done.
tweet that out at the end of the interview
Yes.
or segment. This isn't exactly an interview, but segment.
Yes.
I
And
love
then
that.
you'll tweet that out. Your Twitter is at Katie Linendoll.
Yes.
And then the
You have
best.
to be following both of us to win.
Oh boy, you knocked over the floating
I
speaker.
did not go. I'm going to set
You're
it.
getting really good at placing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're really good at that.
It's not easy.
It's fascinating.
It's a game unto itself.
You have to follow Not Sam and Katie Linendoll if you want to do this thing, and tag us both. Best Photoshop of Sam Roberts on a roller
This is
coaster
going to be fun.
wins a floating speaker. Is that on brand?
Yeah.
And don't do any off-brand photoshopping.
I have such a great idea. I'm not going to tell anybody, but you could do so many fun
Well, you-
things with that picture. It's so awesome.
It's so good.
You should try to enter.
I'm going to. I'm not very good. My photoshopping skills aren't really up to par, but maybe I'll, find a friend.
Can I enter?
Yes, of course you
see why
can.
not.
Canadian.
Steve, wait till you see his Photoshop game.
Are you good?
Yeah, well,
baby.
you're the graphic designer that's behind all the wonderful Katie Linendoll cartoons, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a true
So you
statement.
know what
and
you're doing.
Also, Al Roker's app.
Yeah. And
Co-developed.
we're doing a new game now, actually.
With Al?
No, just self-published, just us.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
just
two of
working
you?
on it. Yeah.
So it was this? It was
That was our third game. We've done a few now.
Splatterpult, the Rokies,
And then there was one between the
whoa,
multiplayer
whoa.
Splatterpult.
You guys really cool games.
Nicole
Really cool
actually, to my absolute glee, took our first game and got really into it and talked about it on her show. To my utter delight.
Blew the whole thing
And
up.
let
What
me
game was that?
Say, we got
That
a
was
little
Splatterpult.
buzz out of that.
You did?
Yeah, it was our
Much-
biggest download days were the days you were talking
Because I
about
needed
it.
something to take the place of Candy Crush because I couldn't stop crushing candy, and that did it for me.
It did. What's
Nicole?
it? Say the-
Splatterpult.
Do you still play Candy Crush?
Oh,
No, you don't.
I do.
Candy Crush Soda? Do you just get Candy Crush
No,
Soda?
I'm not doing the soda.
I thought Candy
Do
Crush
the
was
soda.
over.
No, it's not. I don't
Oh.
care how old it is.
I love
Yeah.
you, Katie.
It's amazing.
Is it still amazing?
I am obsessed with Candy Crush and Candy Crush Soda.
Can I tell you something? And this is something that humiliates me, but I feel like we're all being honest.
Yeah, we are.
When I see
Trust tree.
when I see the commercials and the old ladies crushing the candy with a hammer, I laugh at those commercials. I think that's funny.
I think it's funny.
I think it's funny.
Say that guy, the voiceover guy in Candy Crush? Because listen, everybody who's Candy Crush, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's whoa, it's a little spicy.
You think so?
Yeah, I play it real late before I go to bed.
Yeah?
And he's like, ooh, chocolate.
And it just puts you in the right mood.
Like, revs her engine.
Yeah.
It's so inappropriate. I can't imagine the voiceover.
Wait, what's the next one? So it was Flatter Pole, Al Roker's Rokies, and
this we're still at the sort of the sketching and graphic stage, so it's a little early to talk about.
People think making apps easy. It's not.
And we're at bandwidth as it is, so it's like finding nooks and crannies in our schedule to sort of work on this stuff.
All right.
Now, when you start working on stuff like this, the two of you must, though. You say a lot of people think apps are easy, and they're not. Some people put no work into their apps.
You can. Yeah.
If you look at an app,
it's easier to make a really bad app.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
takes less time.
Do you get upset when you see really bad apps? Like they're wasting.
No, because even really good apps, most of them aren't successful just due to the crowded marketplace.
Right.
So if you put no work in, you reap what you sow.
Right.
But we're really picky with the stuff that we work on, and we get so up and inside of it that we get obsessed with anything we do. So
up and inside of it, like that voiceover guy from Candy Crush.
You walked into that one.
He gets up and inside
I
of it.
thought he was going to drop an eggplant.
Well, look, I wanted to keep it on brand. I thought it was important.
Do we need to have a hashtag for the contest?
Yeah, what's the hashtag?
Eggplant Friday's not a good hashtag? Okay. All right. Jesus Christ.
That's
just
an automatic,
suggesting something.
Automatic disqualification.
Agreed.
Wow.
Use the EF bomb.
And a lot of people don't know this. Katie Linendoll doesn't fuck around, so don't test her.
No.
Although I've already dropped a bomb.
F-bomb.
F-bomb.
Yes, sure.
I loved it. Only here, right? That's exclusive to Sam Roberts' show? Okay, good.
Never happens on the Today Show.
Good. No. Never. I'm going to wait for it,
Not
though.
on brand.
Here's what I want to do. I want to get you just so comfortable on a microphone, not thinking about the fact that you're being broadcast at all, that you'll start doing your other appearances and saying inappropriate things. That's my goal.
That's not a good look.
I want you to call into today's show and be like, fucking hey, guys. And Willie's like, what are you doing?
He's hilarious, by the way.
I know.
He'd laugh.
I've met him. I think he's great. So, the other thing that came out of CES that everybody was talking about was Sling TV.
Yeah.
That's another thing I thought was kind of over. I thought Slingbox was okay, whatever. But so Sling TV is coming out with this thing where they're, I guess, the first to really branch some channels together and offer way cheaper than cable something you can get like CNN and a whole bunch of those channels streaming. And it seems like a real shot at cable TV.
Yes, for the cable cutters. And actually, I just got my test account set up.
You got everything.
I know. I'm pretty pumped for this one.
Yeah.
But I have all the set-top boxes in the sense from the Roku and the Amazon Fire Stick and the Apple TV.
What's your favorite?
Probably Chromecast, and I use my Hulu Plus a lot.
You do?
Because I watch wrestling.
What do you watch WWE Network on?
My Apple TV.
Boom.
And actually, no, I will retract that too. I split see it with my Amazon Fire.
What's better?
Fire TV.
Do they both work?
Same thing.
See, I got a Roku for the holidays. I haven't used it yet, but I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah,
you can barely spell Roku.
Where do I stick it? I'm not sure, really.
I don't know what this is for.
Ooh, tasty.
Yeah.
So delicious.
Yeah, that's the voice. That's the Candy Crush
She
voice.
spent a lot of lonely nights with that Candy Crush voice.
Chocolate.
Yeah, I got the Apple. I have Apple TV and Roku and Chromecast, and then all the video and PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4.
Okay. And then you feel like you need to be maximizing them and using them all because you have so many. Wait, I'm not using the Roku enough, and Apple TV is still my go-to.
Do you think cable's is getting out of here, Katie?
The problem with it is, and that problem that I've always had, and why I still spend about $220 a month in cable and internet, is live sports and live wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's my flavor. You don't have to like wrestling or like live sports. I can't get away from the live
aspect.
I can't.
That's what it is. It's sporting events.
It's my non-negotiable. It's like my only time to chill.
Sporting events and award shows.
Oh, and that'd be an
Those
interesting ad. Yes.
Nicole's sitting there going where's my red carpet coverage?
I need
my red carpet coverage.
Live sporting, not me, but the red carpet, 1,000,000%. What are you wearing if I miss that?
Well, that's your Super Bowl. It's coming up. It's called the Oscars.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amen. That's a true story.
Yeah, but I feel like once the MLB network and the NFL network and the NHL, once they really become viable things that are a little more affordable and that are always working, don't you think a lot of people are going to...
a la carte packs, though. That's the big one for me.
What do you mean?
I don't need 550 channels.
Right.
Nor do I use 540 of them.
Yeah. Right.
And I just want to a la carte, like a Chinese menu, pick which channels that I want. And I think that's why Sling is such a great idea.
Yeah. Well, that,
$20 a month.
Okay.
12 of the most popular channels,
Mm-hmm.
ESPN, Disney, TNT, HGTV, and you can do add-on packs for $5.
Because I only don't you only watch a handful of your
Yes.
favorite channels,
Yes.
and you still have to like cycle through these channels you're never going to watch.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just clutter.
Yeah.
So to be able to
Especially all the
streamline
movie
that.
channels. Like at this point, like who needs
A scheduled
150?
movie, they're
Yeah.
telling you what to watch and when to watch it. Who's available
But the
for
thing
that?
about it is like I'm still afraid to cancel the movie channels, even though I don't ever watch them.
I was sitting there going, I never want, like for me, Girls, it's on Mondays at 7 p.m.
Me too.
Because that's when I watch
Me
Girls.
too.
And then you know what comes on after?
Homeland, Game of Thrones,
Right.
Shameless.
non-negotiable.
Right.
Shameless. But these things, but
HBO Showtime will never sign on to something like this, and they're absent from it.
HBO Go has their own app now.
It's incredible.
Right.
It's so fantastic.
It is.
HBO Go.
Use it.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm doing I'm setting all this stuff on my own time. So I don't need these premium channels. But cable company, you have to have, HBO Go is setting up a thing where you can just buy HBO Go without subscribing to it.
Oh, wow.
But then I can't watch Shameless. And I can't watch Homeland. So you
Yep.
still have to subscribe to Showtime. And then you call the cable company. They're all geniuses. You call the cable company, and they're like, well, actually, if you downgrade it from this package, it would cost you more because you have some kind of package deal, da-da-da. And I'm like, leave it as it is. Goodbye.
Not if you ask me to call them next time for you. I am an animal
Oh, I
with
love
customer
that.
service.
You're unpleasant?
I will destroy you. I will take care of whatever cable service issues you have
That's
anytime,
amazing.
any day.
My dad's like that. He has no respect for people on the phone, especially if they call him, like when telemarketers call. He wants a telemarketer called while we were over for dinner.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, he told him, if you call here again, I'm going to kill your mother.
Sounds just like me.
Is what he told. He goes, I just hear, like, all you hear is his end of the conversation. He goes, your name is not Bill. Because it's,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, my name is Bill.
It's not Bill.
No, it's not. He's just like, just beating them with his words and saying, I will kill your mother if you call here again.
Telemarketers still
Take me off
call?
this list all the
Yeah.
time.
Matt came into the room the other day and he screamed, "You can't talk to people like that." I'm like, "Oh, yes, I can, and I will, and I am."
On Christmas Eve, the phone rang.
Yeah, that's right.
And my dad picked it up. And he looked at the number and he picked it up. He goes, hello? You can't seriously be calling here on Christmas fucking Eve.
You should take that.
I know. Everybody was like laughing. I was like, shh. I grabbed my phone to take it out, but he hung up too quick.
I'm also a big fan of now the spam texts.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Is there like a do not call text?
I thought
spam
there
thing?
was.
But who's clicking the links? And that's actually a good deal.
Not, but it's like, it's just odd.
Yo, I don't understand the business model behind it. There can't be. Look, I guess there are people who think that there's somebody in Nigeria that is actually going to give them $100,000. Maybe there are dumb people everywhere, but I can't imagine knowing anybody that would actually respond to a telemarketer text.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the acai berry?
Oh, it's so good for you.
Yeah, see?
Superfood, right?
Superfood.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, you gotta put it into the NutriBullet for that boost.
You know your
I
shit.
had one in my shake this morning.
See?
I had acai berry.
Love that. New year, new everybody.
Yeah, I don't feel any different when I have any of that stuff though, ever.
But
ever.
it's doing good things for your body.
That's what everybody says.
I'm going to stick with mainlining caffeine as well as Steve. We're on like, how many espressos
I
a
get
day?
nervous when the coffee gets to about 30%. It's
Anxiety?
like my iPhone battery.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next one.
Like, you know what legitimately makes me feel better in my body? Like, my mood becomes better. Pepsi, soda, like sugary.
That's the high fructose corn syrup.
Yep, it works.
But don't you feel terrible 10 minutes later?
But then there's more.
Oh,
they give you free sodas at Sirius, so it's no problem.
Drugs.
It's easy. Except then I look at my body in the mirror and I go, oh, that's why I look like, as we were talking about earlier, a Roswellian alien.
Oh my gosh, you totally need to come to the UFO Congress with me.
Of course.
You would be embraced
You think so?
and abducted.
He's one of them.
I want you to
They
go
would worship me.
just so I can see the pictures of you at this thing.
Yeah.
You have to take it seriously, though.
I will. Of course. I take everything seriously.
Okay.
Obviously.
It's for reals.
Have you ever known me not to take something seriously?
Yes.
Oh.
Just
Wow.
3 times.
What about the other thing? I was looking over like a best in show at CES.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Right. CES.
With Katie Linendoll here.
Best of
Like concept cars. I always feel like they always display these amazing concept cars. They can always do these amazing things. And they never make them. I've never actually, like, I feel like they don't ever get made. They're just like, look what we could eventually do. And then it's like, but the model this year looks like a rounder version of last year's model.
You don't think we've made significant progress in software and in car design?
The one thing, first of all, the navigation systems are better.
Insane.
Second of all, I like that some cars now, because I drive my dad's car, and when you put the turn signal on, there's a little light on the mirror that tells you if a car is close to you or not. But I feel like they've shown like magic in cars that I just haven't seen.
I was working with Ford and on their new like Sync 3. Sync, it's in like 10 million vehicles right now, right?
Yeah.
Talk about just getting in the car and being able to use voice commands to do anything from turn a song on to text and make phone calls all with your voice. I think that's incredible. But what really blows my mind is like the emergency services. If you get into an accident, they now with no subscription can actually say, this is where the accident's been. This is how many airbags have went off. This is the situation. I think that's phenomenal for in-vehicle.
But that's the other thing. These voice commands. Texting became huge because we don't want to talk anymore. I hate voice commands. I hate Siri. I hate talking.
They also never get it right. When
that's why it's so much better now. I feel like 1.0 was not great.
It actually works?
Sync 3, it's amazing. Yes.
Like even when you say like call so and so, like
so much
in the
more,
car, it's like they get the name wrong 15 times.
It should have never came out until it was really, really crisp and ready.
And then you're calling somebody that you haven't spoken to since college, and you're like, why are they even in my phone book?
Like trying to hang up before it registers with them.
Right.
They still see that you called.
Yeah. Hey, did you call? No. No. It's weird because your name, but I don't know what happened. That's your phone, I guess, because goodbye. There's a reason we don't speak anymore.
We had a sweet test ride on a Polaris Slingshot. It was a 3-wheeled motorcycle roadster. Wow.
Yeah.
That baby is worth Googling. It was incredible. And the horsepower on it was like insane. It was like comparable to, was it a Lamborghini?
Yeah, I think they said it's like a way to get like an affordable Lamborghini experience. It's technically a bike because it's 3 wheels, but it's in the casing. It looks like a Batmobile or something, so it drives like a car.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
That sounds incredible.
We were flying down the Vegas Strip.
Katie, you honestly, like, your life strikes me as like you're the Charlie Bucket of gadgets. Like, you just get to walk around. They're like, no, Katie, the chocolate factory is yours.
And then there's the guy whispering in my ear, like the weird guy.
Slugworth?
Yeah.
He's like, Katie, tell me how they build the rocket skates.
I still feel like you get the golden ticket when you get like the invites to tech events, like the Apple press conferences, and like, yes, there's my Charlie Bucket, like, for sure.
Yeah. You still feel that. So you're not over it.
No, my goodness. And in the amazing part of what I do, and I work long hours, but it's like amazing hours in the sense I get like 7 to 10 boxes from FedEx and UPS a day just with like testing new stuff out.
I've seen on your Instagram, like when you're out of town for like a week.
Oh my gosh, everybody hates me.
And the hallway is just full. So nobody steals anything?
No one steals anything.
Wow, I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, to my knowledge.
Well, then I guess we'd never know if it never arrived,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
it's being stolen.
Do people in your building know that you're like a gadget lady?
Yeah, they've deduced it.
Because I would have been like, gadget lady's got boxes. I'm taking that because it's got to be something in there.
Yeah.
How often? I always get worried the gadgets aren't going to work.
Oh yeah, 50% of the time they're not great.
And what will you write a negative review or do you ignore it?
I'm more of
Or give it to Goodwill.
I do a lot of donations over at the Kids Cancer Center.
Do you?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like
Give a bunch of
the
kids with
best part
cancer
of what I
gifts
do.
that don't work?
Yeah.
No, not the good ones. I know what they like the Legos and
Because, I mean, they already got cancer. They don't want to get a gadget that doesn't work. Oh, okay.
I only give out good stuff.
Oh, okay.
But the bad ones I kind of just send back, and I don't touch, like, it's not my kind of cup of tea to write a negative review, nor do I want to put in the effort. I want to find the awesome stuff and put the awesome stuff out. So
That's
people
better.
know it's everything that I'm putting out is like quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I get a lot of crap. I do.
You do.
Absolutely.
And things, bad ideas that a lot of people invested money
Oh my
in.
gosh, the CES bad ideas. Can we touch that for a second?
And we saw a bunch of bad ideas when we were already fried from 4 days on the floor, as Nicole can relate to.
I saw your Facebook
and we
post.
were getting delirious, like seeing
After
some
the
of these.
foot hammock, I was like, I
What's a
freaked
foot
out. Yeah, exactly.
hammock?
It was
They
like,
already, like...
it's called a box that you put under your desk.
Right.
Like, we're not paying for this.
No.
I lost it, and there was a Girl Scout booth, and I just stuffed my face with Thin Mints.
They had Thin Mints at CES?
Even the Girl Scouts were at CES, people.
Wait a minute. I couldn't think a foot hammock under my desk sounds. If it's an actual hammock, it sounds cool.
Don't go off the deep end. We have not lost you.
But it's more of a Bed Bath and Beyond item
like
than an
CES.
innovative technology.
It's not exactly a floating speaker.
Well, I mean, I've said that I think the selfie stick is the end of the harbinger of the end of society.
Did I tell you? Last week we had a guest on, Robbie E. He is. Do you watch TNA wrestling at all?
A little bit.
So Robbie E is this wrestler, and he's like completely guidoed out. He's the living incarnation of the Jersey Shore.
Not terribly bright either.
That's his wrestling gimmick and his real life.
Oh,
like it's
an easy role for him.
And and he's not a bright guy, but he's very unashamed about it. Like I honestly only had him on the show last week to ask him questions about.
Do you watch Little TNA?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
surfacey there.
Yeah.
Very. Well, there's so many crossovers. Sorry, I digress.
Well, I brought him on only to ask him questions about what's going on in the world. Very easy ones, like, for instance, who's the vice president, and watch him not know the answers.
I mean, isn't he a dick?
And he's okay with that?
He's like, why do I need to know that? That's not going to change my life.
He does.
That's always the answer when people don't know things they should know.
To know that?
But I don't need to know geography.
I bring him up because part of his wrestling thing now, he's incorporated the selfie stick into he brings the selfie stick to the ring, and he's
he hits people with it and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's
like the new kendo stick.
It's a perfect villainous wrestler thing because it's so obnoxious.
Especially if you go somewhere like the Rockefeller Christmas tree, where people are like, no matter where you are, you're bothering someone because you're in their island.
Yeah.
So now it's like all these sticks in the air. It's like a jungle gym.
Yeah, because I get annoyed with umbrellas, so now this is just like another umbrella type thing.
Except it's always thrust outward.
Right. Maybe a good Miz prop. I mean, his ship has sailed.
Yeah, that's right.
But
yeah, it's obnoxious. It's very good for a bad guy wrestler.
It's pretty good.
It works for that, but in terms of reality, I go boo when I see people with it.
Well, I love how now you like go up to people. They're like, "Oh, do you need me to take your photo?" They're like, "No,
I've got the selfie.
I'm just gonna. I want a selfie. I don't need your help."
Right.
Like, oh, I'm gonna. All right, cool.
Or like I've seen people will come up and oh, can we take a photo together? Yeah, sure. Oh, now let's also get a selfie. It's like both? What? Why? Huh?
I know.
So what were some of the other bad things that you saw at CES?
Your favorite was the most humanizing way to kill rats.
Oh yeah, I mean, just some of it's just tweaking the marketing language on some things. Like I think they had a rat trap.
Okay.
And they said humanely kill rats, and just like the thought of like the most humane way to end the life of an animal just seemed like an odd juxtaposition of words. And
Steve lost it at that.
Yeah,
booth.
yeah.
I had to like pick him off the floor.
And that was in a particular corner of the convention where things were getting a little fringe. I think it was the startup area, so not everyone had funding or rock solid ideas.
One of my favorites too that we did a piece on Pop Sci over. It was a good idea. It's called Quit Bit Lighter.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and it helps you stop quick smoking, but why do it with the device that's going to light the cigarette?
It's an actual lighter.
Why would you have the lighter anymore?
It tracks your smoking like a fitness tracker.
Yeah.
And so the obvious question is, well, why are you enabling the person to continue smoking by embedding a lighter in the device? And he said he didn't want to, I guess it makes sense. He doesn't want the person to have two devices, the quitter and the lighter.
I think it's because he wants people to keep smoking and keep trying to quit.
Right. With his
and that way they'll just keep buying more.
Right. Maybe that's it. Because it was the obvious question that kept coming to him on that one.
And then where we really got nuts was, you see booths, a lot of, there's a lot more international entrepreneurs, which is great. But then they'd have a massive accessory booth for iPhone gadgetry, and iPhone would be spelled wrong. And we're like, dude, what round table did you all?
Right, is this a mall kiosk or is it CES?
Right. Well, at that portion of the event, it is more like a mall kiosk.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like when you go to Comic-Con, you start going all the way down,
and it's just T-shirt stands. You have to do the
action
edges
figures
of Comic-Con to get the real experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got to go to break because. I don't know if you know this, Nicole, but Katie Linendoll have a weekend trip planned.
We do.
Wait, what? Are you cheating on me?
First of all, we're all friends in this room, Nicole, and you need to realize that this isn't a place for jealousy.
This is group love?
Yeah, that's all this is. We're going to play Candy Crush a lot.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
A lot of Candy Crush.
Yeah. We're going, you don't like wrestling.
Okay. All right, you're right.
Well, Nicole and I will go get mani-pedis.
Done and done.
Katie and I are going to see the Royal Rumble this Sunday.
Man for himself.
My God.
In Philadelphia.
Can we pick our sleepers before we go to break?
Okay, let's pick this. Who's your sleeper?
I have two sleepers. Well, my favorite people to come out are like the legends, right? So IRS is my favorite wrestler of all time. Okay. And then I'm hoping for a Tatanka this year. Okay?
You want Tatanka in the Rumble?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, I know he's 53 and whatever, but
he can handle it.
Okay, my sleeper pick is Sting to win the Rumble.
Whoa, that's a major sleeper.
And
I don't see it
Rollins
happening.
Is going to win. No, sorry. Cena is going to beat Lesnar, and then Rollins is going to cash in, and then it's going to be Rollins versus Sting at Mania.
I told you. She's the real deal.
I'll go all day.
I have a sleeper.
Who's that?
Iron Sheik.
Steve, that was good.
Oh,
That was
really?
good.
He's
Yeah,
a
that made
guy.
sense.
He's a guy.
What did you call the Macho Man last time? You called him...
The Randy Macho Man.
The Randy Macho.
He's my second sleeper.
And he is a Randy Macho Man.
He's in the
Wow.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's super sleeping. He's
Posthumous.
yeah. Sleeping several feet under the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
My condolences, everybody.
Way to go,
Pour
Steve.
salt into that wound.
Yeah.
My sleeper is Randy Orton. That's a sleeper. He's been gone. He'll come back and win the Royal Rumble. That's a sleeper. I'm hoping Daniel Bryan wins this thing.
Okay.
But you know who the everybody's real pick is? Who do you know who the favorite is?
I would say Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Hands down.
And I'm going to tell you this, Katie. You're going to get very excited.
I have my Roman Reigns hoodie.
You do. You wore it because you saw the tweet.
I did.
That's an adorable hoodie. It's so small.
And I got really jacked because I shrunk it.
Oh.
I'm really upset about it.
Are you going to wear it on
It's
Sunday?
dryer. I have a F5 shirt I'm going to be wearing on Sunday.
All right. Good.
She's already prepped with
Wrestling shirt.
the outfit.
Roman Reigns going to be on this show.
Wow.
Huge.
When we come back. Katie, Steve, thank you for stopping by. Nicole, are you getting out of here?
I think I got to go. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know you don't want to talk to Roman Reigns.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, well,
I think
stay
I'm good.
tuned. And tweet Katie Linendoll and myself, not Sam, with, do we have a hashtag?
Oh, we didn't pick a hashtag.
Oh, hashtag.
Quickly.
Hashtag floating speaker roller coaster.
Sam roller coaster? Roller coaster Sam?
Floating speaker roller coaster.
Floating speaker roller coaster. Believe that.
Yeah, believe that, and you can win a floating speaker. Roman Reigns coming up next here on Sam Roberts Show. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Friday Show. Excuse my mic movement. It's not Sam Roberts Friday Show. I've rebranded. Sam Roberts Show here on OB Radio. I love having Katie Linendoll in here. Katie was in here. Nicole was in here. I think I just like having attractive people around me. Maybe some of that's going to rub off on me through osmosis. I don't know. Either way, welcome back. Speaking of attractive people, and just so you know I'm not being gender biased, Roman Reigns is quite a stud. There aren't too many studs left. In 2015, there aren't that many hunks left on the planet. I would say WWE superstar Roman Reigns. And I would say, I can say this with masculinity and as a heterosexual man, I would say WWE superstar Roman Reigns would be considered a hunk. He's going to be on the show in a couple of minutes to talk about the Royal Rumble this weekend, which I'm obviously very excited about. It's good to have, that's Katie was in here. We're going to be heading out to the Royal Rumble in Philly in 2 days on Sunday, so day after tomorrow. So I'm sure I'll have stories about that next week here on the show. DJ Who Kid supposed to be here, but I think he's in he's having a clothing brand named after him or something. I don't know exactly what's going on. If you follow him on Instagram at Just Who Kid, I think that's it. A real Who Kid? I don't know. Just Who Kid. He's in China or Japan or some Asian country, and he's become this ambassador for a clothing line. He didn't even tell me this was going to happen. If this were happening in my life, I would tell anybody that I came into contact with. Everybody would know what I was doing over there. So the pictures would come as a shock to nobody. DJ Who Kid just lives this life where all this ridiculous shit just happens to him, and he just moves on to the next thing. Oh, okay, you want me to do this? Oh, you'll pay me for it? Okay, I'll go do that. Will there be bitches? Will there be bitches at my disposal? Oh, there will? Oh, okay, perfect. Then I'll be there. Then I'll go. Who Kid lives life the way we all should live life. He doesn't take anything terribly seriously. He doesn't go over the top with anything. He doesn't really seem to worry about much. As long as he's getting his, he's not really worried about too much. It's like, this is why I like pro wrestling so much. This is why I'm having Roman Reigns call in. I like pro wrestling because you don't have to take it seriously. Everybody in the NFL and everybody around the NFL, people are so worried about the fact that these footballs may have been deflated. Tom Brady's got to go on TV and say balls 250 times just to get off his chest, just to get the balls off his chest and chin, just to get off his chest that he didn't do anything. He wants everybody to know, I didn't cheat, don't worry about me. But they're pro athletes. At the end of the day, football and baseball and basketball and hockey and all these games are about entertainment. Entertainment. And just us sitting at home watching and criticizing people as they do things that in our context, human beings should not be physically able to do. And whether that means you have to deflate a ball and not tell anybody, and whether that means you have to be on steroids. Who cares if a baseball player's on steroids? What difference does it make? We will keep going to stadiums to watch grown men hit balls harder and with more frequency than any grown man has before them. Because it's entertaining, because it's a superhuman feat. I didn't know this was physically possible. Well, it is. If you incorporate the technology, it's 2015. Medical technology has allowed us to get to a certain place where, look, we can do this if we want to. We can take some steroids and be a lot bigger. I don't think people should be forced to take steroids. Of course, steroids are terrible for your health. I don't think there should be commercials for steroids. I don't think we should be convincing little kids to use steroids. But if somebody's going to get into the world of professional athletics, now, as dangerous as steroids are, they're nowhere near as dangerous as performing most professional sports for a living. Day in and day out playing those goddamn games are terrible for your mind, body, and soul. It's not good. The money that comes with it, the egos that develop, it's bad for the mind. Physically, it takes a toll on you. I mean, in football, good Lord, do you really think that teaching kids, because that's the whole idea, right? The reason that we don't want them to cheat is because it would teach the impressionable viewers of the NFL that cheating is okay. And it would take out the integrity of the game. The integrity of the game is pretty much lost when the Manning brothers are doing Oreo cookie commercials. Okay, it's not a game with integrity. It's football. It's a game where giant people try to smash into each other so they can't go anywhere. That's the whole game, and that's it in a nutshell. So, you mean to tell me that the danger that an impressionable person may see somebody cheating and think it's okay is greater than the idea that I can perform this activity that will undeniably 100% lead to me getting multiple concussions? That's not as dangerous as, but at least we don't cheat. The lesson that cheaters never win is more important than if you don't slam into people, you won't get concussions. I mean, we've done enough research. We know how now, like 10 years ago, I don't think anybody knew how dangerous this stuff was. Now we know. And it's like, okay, you know it's dangerous. Just accept it. I don't have a problem with it. I started watching football for the first time this season. I was watching the Giants. Just about every weekend, I was watching a Giants game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I like it. I like seeing people do dangerous things, as long as I'm not one of the people. Right? If I find out that this team cheated or this, whatever, it adds drama. If I find out that the balls were slightly deflated, I mean, the score, the Patriots destroyed. The score was in the double digits, okay, as far as the difference between the two numbers. It was a huge differential in score. And from what everybody's saying, those deflated balls have been used forever. I bet Tom Brady has been, it's not like he just all of a sudden switches out and for one game decided to use deflated balls. He uses what he uses all the time. Now, I know you're probably at home laughing going, I get it, balls. I'm not here to make balls jokes. Probably the only person on the planet who doesn't want to make a Tom Brady's balls jokes. I got it. Testicles. Understood. But, you know, people who cheat in football should be treated like people who cheat in wrestling. Oh, that dastardly Mr. Fuji threw salt in the guy's eyes. I can't wait till he gets his comeuppance. I can't wait till the big boss man gets his revenge on Mr. Fuji. That's how cheating in professional sports should be handled. Well, good. I can't wait until those Patriots get what they have coming to them. And they probably won't, because they're like a dynasty team right now. You got to do more than deflate footballs to get to where the Patriots are, right? Yeah. It's just dumb, but people take it so seriously that they have to know, like it's like the people who go to games and keep score and keep records and everything. It's taken so seriously that all the potential enjoyment is sucked out of it. I don't care if these guys cheat. I don't care if they do drugs. The fact is, in all professional sports, they're performing in a way that is completely hazardous to their health. They should not be doing it under any circumstance. So, we're enjoying them do it, right? But instead, we get all hot and bothered because they might be cheating. And just realize they're putting their bodies at a horrible risk. They're doing terrible things to themselves physically. They might also be cheating. They might also be doing drugs. It's part of the fun. It's like watching Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. Like, it's terrible, the things that he's doing to himself. That's why it's funny. I wouldn't do that. I would never want that. I'd be so mad if somebody did it to me. I mean, I don't do anything that risky. I do things like, I'll be at the JR show tonight. I mentioned that earlier in the show. If you're in the car right now and you're in the area, head over towards Sayreville, New Jersey. Tonight, I believe the show starts at 8 o'clock. So right after the show, I'm going to get in the car and I'm driving down to Sayreville, New Jersey. I will be and I'll be hosting and moderating or doing whatever. I will be part of Jim Ross, good old JR. He called into the show a couple weeks ago, a night with Ringside with Jim Ross. It's going to be part one-man show with JR telling stories about his many years with pro wrestling. It's going to be Q&A, so people can show up and ask him whatever. And when the Q&A section comes, I'm going to be the moderator. So I guarantee you, if you come, especially if you tell me you know me from this show, and you have a horrible question that you want to ask JR, I will make sure that not only do you get to ask that question, but he's going to answer it. So come out, see the JR show. It's in Sayreville, New Jersey. There's a special guest coming out from the wrestling business. I'll just put it that way. It's at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey tonight at 8 o'clock. So come out and check that out. Now, speaking of wrestling, it's a big wrestling weekend. The Royal Rumble is this weekend. It's on Sunday. And I feel like even a non-wrestling fan can get excited about Royal Rumble. It's the one you remember as a kid. It's the one you can invite your friends over for. If I feel bad. All my nerdy wrestling fans were inviting me to their Royal Rumble parties because you bet on it. You get the Royal Rumble pool going. I want to go to one of these things, but instead, Katie Linendoll and myself are heading to Philadelphia to see the show in person. It's going to be very, very exciting. But one of the favorites to win this thing. And you're sitting there, what do you mean favorite to win? It's fake. Yeah, but you know what? We didn't know what was going to happen to Walter White either, right? Did you have a prediction about what was going to happen to Walter White at the end of Breaking Bad? I think you did. So if you had a prediction about what was going to happen to Walter White at the end of Breaking Bad, then you can have a prediction about who's going to win the Royal Rumble. That's it. Your storytelling, okay? Your storytelling. Except these guys are storytelling with their horribly abused bodies. Now, Roman Reigns is a guy, he's new on the scene. Unless you're currently watching wrestling, you might not know who he is, but he's a giant Samoan. He's related to I think he's cousins with The Rock. You know, all the Samoan wrestlers are related on some weird way. It's all like the roots all blend together somehow. But Roman Reigns, for a lot of people, is the favorite to win. He's been getting made fun of a little bit on the internet because his promos are interesting. At one point, he said "suffer and succotash" on SmackDown. It's not exactly suck it, but to each their own. But he's still getting pushed like he's going to be the next big superstar in that company. People are saying that Roman Reigns is the next John Cena. He's the favorite of a lot of people to win the Royal Rumble. And I thought he'd be a great guest this week on Sam Roberts' show here. So he was out with an injury earlier this year, but it was like a stomach injury. He had, what's it called? I can't think of the term right now. But it wasn't a wrestling injury. It wasn't like an in-ring injury. Something happened to him. He had a not an ulcer, but I'll think of it either while I'm talking to Roman or right after or something. Because on the phone right now is quite possibly the next big thing in WWE. Back from his injury. I'm stalling to see if I can think of what his injury was, and I don't remember. Ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns is on the phone. Roman, what's the haps, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing, Sam?
I'm very well, thank you. It's a big time for you right now. I mean, you're back now after being injured for a big part of this year. First of all, what did you do while you were at home? Because I would imagine that, even though you're a young guy, that's the first time in several years that you've had an extended stay at home.
Yeah, it was like foreign territory, man.
Yeah.
Like, at first, I was like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I was extremely limited. Now, that was the toughest part of, dealing with hernia surgery and the recovery is there is no rehab. You tear your ACL, you can do all kinds of stuff, working around the body part. Same for really anything else. But when you're dealing with, a situation where you can't strain, you literally can't do anything. I mean, I had to be careful about sneezing and coughing and things like that for the first few weeks. So for me, it was, to be honest, it was a good bit of couch time. I did a lot of couch work. I had a cold beer.
Yeah.
Or two, maybe 8. I don't know.
I did.
Yeah. I took advantage and we went to Halloween Horror Nights. That was a good time. I did a couple of cruises and got married. So
man, that's perfect. So when did you get married? Specifically, you're like, okay, I'm injured. Like now is the time. We got to plan this now, or was it just convenient?
No, it was literally now is the time. Go. And,
yeah, let's do this.
And thank God, being so fortunate of having a good job, and being busy for the past couple of years. That was another situation where it was like the only time I've ever had time off, I was broke. You know what I mean?
Right.
I couldn't have fun. I couldn't do anything. So to have a little bit of change to spend was a great opportunity to show my family and my wife and daughter a good time, and we took a couple of cruises and did some really cool stuff. So
I'm glad you got married, but I hope you're really in love because it could be a fun time right now to be a single Roman Reigns. Women like the Roman Reigns character, as it were, on television.
It's just that character, right? It's just that Roman Reigns guy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy. The thing is though, like, I've always looked like this, you know what I mean, my whole life. So I've always gotten a little bit of, attention here and there. But, on the scale that WWE, when you get that machine behind you and they put you out in front of the world, it does get a bit crazy. I was just in Vegas, just walking through the casino, hearing women. It makes me feel like a piece of meat, to be honest. It's not like, that now I know what it's like to be like a Hooters girl or something. Like I'm just walking around with my boobs out or something.
Dude, that sounds great to me though. Like for women, that's like something that they struggle with. But if I could have one day of feeling like a piece of meat, I feel like I would have accomplished something.
It's definitely a double-edged sword. It has its cool moments, where it's like that's pretty damn cool that girls are into me, and I'm stirring up all these emotions. But like you said, you have to be careful nowadays. Everyone has a camera phone, and you take a picture, kind of half hugging a girl, and it turns out you're dating her or something crazy on the internet. So
yeah, it's probably safer for you as you're just starting to get to a level where you've got some for real notoriety, like one of the big stars on the roster. It's probably safer to have a home life and a wife and nothing going on outside of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me too, I'm not doing this for fame. I do it strictly, from an artistic standpoint as far as performance and entertaining people and bringing happiness and, putting a smile on people's faces. But it's not, it's never been about being famous or anything like that. So
when did you kind of get the desire to perform? Because you were part of the documentary that they did about the Usos, who are your real life cousins. And a big part of that was you playing football and thinking that is the direction your career is going to go in. But playing football is not performance, it's athletic, whereas sports entertainment is obviously more performance. When did the performance part click in for you that, yeah, I enjoy this just as much as the athletic part?
Well, I'm going to have to kind of disagree with you there. Asking a simple question, did you play any ball?
I didn't, no.
So then, okay, yeah, I would think, NFL ball, even college ball nowadays, if you look at the uniforms, you look at the swagger these kids have, the celebrations, you better believe it's a performance now. Don't be fooled, man. It is a performance all the way around. I mean, you don't play a sport going in with the mindset you look good, you feel good, you play good. I mean, that's a performance. Obviously, what we do is it's on a bigger, much grander scale of performing and artistic value and that type of thing. The stage is obviously different, and the stakes are a bit different as well. But yeah, I mean, football, we grew up in the South, and if you grow up down in, the panhandle of Florida, there's not much else to do other than, hang out on the beach and play some ball. So for me, it was, football was kind of it was a road that took me to college. It got me an education. It allowed me to network and meet and create a bunch of awesome relationships because, like many other things in this world, football is a small world. Wrestling's an even smaller world.
Yeah.
But I always had that desire to perform and look cool and be cool. And, I was a guy who cared about how he looked on the field. So I always feel like there was a bit of a performer in me. We just didn't really find it out until, the opportunity came.
So what do you think about the position you're in right now in WWE? The Royal Rumble is on Sunday. And, I mean, for the last year, I would say, you dominated last year at the Royal Rumble. You threw out a ton of dudes. But I would say from that point on, people started saying, well, this is obviously the guy that the WWE want to strap the rocket to. This is the guy. People have said you're the next John Cena. People have said this is the guy they're looking at as the guy that's going to take them forward. But so many people, I feel like, have said that now that, do you think I don't want to feel like I'm being shoved down people's throats? I want people to feel like they are behind me and they're the ones that made me. Does any of that occur to you?
I'm aware of all these things, but you have to look at it at many different perspectives. So for me, as a provider, and as a man, I have a responsibility to provide.
Right.
And, I can't look at it and get down on, this is what they're thinking and this is what they're saying. Because to be honest, I really don't care. I can only do my thing and do the best that I can. The majority of critics, I would say, are people who have no clue what they're talking about. People who have never been in a wrestling ring. Right. They've never been a public speaker. They wouldn't even know how to lock up with me if I allowed them to. If I gave them the opportunity to lock up and tangle with me in the ring, they would have no clue what to do. So for them to critique or to even ever say anything about any performer is asinine and just blows my mind.
And let's be honest, if you had a wrestling critic in front of you and saying, all right, let's lock up, there would probably be urine on their pants before they even attempted.
And then I wouldn't want to lock up. Yeah. I don't want their urine on my pants. But I think, it's one of those situations where obviously the company's going to do what the company does. Mm-hmm. The fans are definitely going to do what they do. And that's what's so great is so the fans have to realize, as opinionated as y'all are in the way you want it, mm-hmm. the company's the same way. They're going to do what they want to do. Y'all are going to do what y'all want to do. The company's going to do what they want to do.
And hopefully,
at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
We'll meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully at the end of the day, I'm just the guy getting rich.
So your deal is, okay, the company's going to tell you what they need done, and all your job is to go out and try to make this work.
My goal is, hopefully I can make everybody happy, and do, and be satisfied with the product that I've created. People don't realize is I've created a product. Mm-hmm. I've created a Superman punch. I've taken a spear and made it my own. There's a lot of things that I've done that I created. So there's a lot of things that, and opinions that I have that I'm not going to budge on. This is mine. You know what I mean? This is what I have. I have to live with this. I have to live with my career. When I'm gone, the WWE Universe and the company of WWE are going to move on. There's going to be another guy, and they're going to keep going. So for me, I'm trying to get everything I can out of this experience possible.
And do you read the criticisms of your promos, or is that the same thing, that you go out there, you see, this is what I need to say, I'm just going to try to make this work as best as I possibly can for me?
I see all my criticism. I'm in a position now where I get a ton of love, which is great, and a ton of criticism, which is great. And as long as I'm in people's mouths, that's all that matters to me. As long as people are talking about me, the majority of the time, the people who are critiquing and bashing me, they're making me more relevant. I would think if you didn't want me around, just don't talk about me and try and make it silence out there. But that's not the case. They make it even more overwhelming, and noise is noise. That's the thing.
And the reactions kind of speak for themselves too. When you get out there and you hear an arena full of people screaming, it probably silences a lot of critics.
Well, if it doesn't, it doesn't bother me, because I'm all about being opinionated. I'm all about speaking up for what you like, and that's fine. And that's what we have nowadays, which is so great with social media, is people can voice their opinions. Now, it's not, I don't believe in like CM Punk, like I'm the voice of the voices. That's crap. Mm-hmm. People are talking and people are being heard all over the world. People are reading. You put something on the internet and people will read it. It's just, it doesn't matter if you're, a famous, superstar celebrity or just, Joe Schmo, doing your 9 to 5 at Starbucks. You can put something on the internet, and you put something crazy enough, it will get, it'll go viral. So I think, I read all this stuff, but people have to consider, I'm not writing, I'm not going out there and I don't create the whole show. I'm a performer. Right. I go out there and I do what I have to do to the best of my ability.
You're doing that for sure. And I mean, you're performing at a crazy level. Real quick, in 30 seconds or so, if you can do it. Is there a lot of times when a guy comes back from an injury, they're a little scared the first time they get in a ring. It's a little nerve-wracking. Now, you didn't get an in-ring injury when you were out, but still, the first time you're back in a ring, do you feel like you have to be more careful, or is it just balls to the wall?
No, I mean, I go through my whole preparation to make sure that my body's, in a good way and warmed up and ready to go. If something crazy were to happen, for me, I'm dealing with pretty much, it's a scar.
Right.
I strain so hard that it busts, it's going to bust, and there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I can hope for is that the healing process is damn near complete, and that scar is 100% and can hold. So for me, I go out there and I go balls to the walls, and that's the mindset I have. There's no practice speed for me. It's in the fire, full go. That's how you stay injury free. When you go on half speed, that's how you get hurt.
Well, listen, Roman Reigns, I think fresh faces in the future of pro wrestling is a beautiful thing, and I think you're doing an amazing job. So the Royal Rumble is this Sunday. It's on the WWE Network. It's $9.95, $9.99. It's less than $10 a month on the WWE Network. So
Best
check
deal
it out.
Ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for talking, Roman.
Thanks for having me, brother.
And there he goes, Roman Reigns, here on Sam Roberts Show. What a show. Nicole was here. Katie Linendoll was here. Her buddy Steve Lunny was in here with her. Roman Reigns on the show. My God, what a show it has been. Got to play the Bob Kelly, Sam Roberts auto-tune song earlier today. If you missed any of it, the show will be up on demand on SiriusXM On Demand, and it also replays, I think, late night going into Saturday and then Sunday afternoon sometimes. So you can look all that up at SiriusXM.com or wherever it is that you go. Listen, appreciate everybody listening. I want everybody to make sure, if you're available, if you've got the availability, if you can get the job done, head on out to Sayreville, New Jersey tonight. It's in just about 2 hours or so. 8 p.m., I believe, is when the show starts. Ringside with Jim Ross, good old JR. Who doesn't remember good old JR? If you enjoyed a moment of the interview I just did with Roman Reigns, you're going to like this show. Jim Ross, he gets on stage. He tells some ridiculous stories from wrestling. If you remember, when we talked to him on the phone a couple weeks ago, he said he was going to have Polaroids of wrestlers in sex acts. Will he have them? I don't know. The only way to find out is if you go to this show. But Jim Ross is going to be up there. He's going to be doing a one-man show. Then he's going to be doing a Q&A. He's got a special guest. And I'll be there, hosting and emceeing and moderating and doing all that. So I recommend everybody go check it out. In the meantime, you can go to youtube.com/notsam. You can check out some of the videos from the show. I'm going to try to get up that Jane Lynch interview from last week over the weekend. I was supposed to do it, but I didn't. But Jane Lynch will be up soon. So much good content up there, though. So if you haven't been there, check it out. And of course, my wrestling podcast. If you're into my wrestling interviews, look up Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. There's a good chance that I'm going to repurpose that Roman Reigns interview this week. So just be prepared for that. Listen, I appreciate you all being here. We will see you next week right here on Sam Roberts Show. Follow me on Twitter at NotSam. Nicole was here earlier at Mashup Nicole. Goodbye, everybody.
This has been Sam Roberts Friday Show. Hear the whole thing anytime you want to on demand on SiriusXM.com/on-demand. Tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Here, Sirius 206 XM 103.